I'm going live. I think I'm live. Yeah, I'm live. How we doing, everyone? We're live. We're live. We're live. Pag. Let me turn this. Here's the wares.
What a brilliant course. We're trying to help children in any way, shape or form to make something different, because if nobody gets up and does anything, then nothing's going to change. So this is why we are here. Let's have it. Come on, let's have it.
Let's have it indeed. Well said, mate. Well said. That was Wes. He was one of the mountaineers that was with us on the Copper Summit. Kept our spirits up. So how you doing, everyone? I hope you're well. Hi, Costa. Hi, Green King. Good to see you. Thank you for jumping on. Right, so we are at Spotland Social Club in Rochdale, and today is the Pag Uk Parents Against Grooming Family Funday. It's on from 2 till 6, and there's loads going on here. There's loads of other stuff going on inside. You've got tombola, you've got a DJ, not me. You've got some face painting, hot dog stand, singers, Mr. Tumble. Is it the Mr. Tumble? There's a popcorn, there's inflatables, there's candy floss, raffles, auction, candy car, mascots, face painting. And all it is, I think, bring family and have an amazing day. £1 entry and £3 for the family. So if you live near Rochdale, or if you are residing in Rochdale, get yourself down here. Get yourself down. Spotland Social Club. I've no idea. Yeah, here's the address. Spotland Reform Club, Edenfield Street, Rochdale, OL12 7PB. That is Edenfield Street, Rochdale, OL12 7PB. And you can see it's all the kids. Billy was looking quite stressed out. He was manning that inflatable there, and he needed to get off it. It's almost like just working that for 5 minutes was more stressful than what he does for Pag. Get on that. You know what kids are like? Jumping on, try to get freebies and just legging it on. He's had to be a bouncer. Oh, the raffle's on. Yes, TMC, thank you, mate. Anxiety fight. Yeah, it's a bowling green, this, I think. It's going to get hammered today. So we're on till 2 till 6. So I'm going to have a little walk inside in a minute. You probably won't hear too much because there's loud music, but you can see it's quite exciting. There's a lot going on. Beautiful day for it as well, look. Absolutely gorgeous. There's the man Billy, look, oh, he's manning the other inflatable now. Let's go and have a chat with our Billy. How you doing, Billy?
How you doing, guys? This is what it's about, guys. Seeing kids in a safe environment having fun without having to worry about that.
Yep. Well, I've just been given the good news off Debbie, who's the organiser. I'm going to be speaking to her later.
She's brilliant, Debbie.
She's talking about this is going to be a regular event, an annual event.
An annual yearly event. It's been brought to us today that it's had that much kids and that. Oh, just take a look around. There's over 200 people here already. You know, I've not even handed any business cards out. Well, I said business cards. I'm on about Parents Against Grooming cards.
Yeah, you know.
But with all their numbers on. So
get it in. Get it in. Let's have a proper look. There you go, guys. All the numbers there. All the numbers.
So each number has like it's myself. There's Wayne, who's birthday, mental health, so on. You've got Dean, who's parent patrol, and you've got me, who kind of oversees all of it. I'm the glue, I think.
You are indeed, mate. Where would Rochdale be without the likes of Billy?
I'm Dean over there. Dean plays his part. His wife Adele, you know, the new young lad was signed this week. Got a new young lad over here who's mental health awareness. He's
part of the Pag team now?
Have a talk to him.
A young lad over there, right, okay, right.
In a minute, Phil, come and have a chat with you.
Sound?
Just don't distract you too much because that's havoc to work on that.
I was just explaining to the stream.
I haven't got the pit.
Mate.
No.
Hey, look, it's kicking off. It's kicking off. Look. Look. Kids. How can you control kids? You need a taser. Well, they've got the Incredible Hulk. Hey, up. Oh, this is fantastic. Positive, innit? Doesn't it look good, this?
I'll go and shout
Yeah, nice one, mate. Nice one. Oh, jeez. Don't get him angry. Look at this. How are you doing, buddy? I do believe you're a new part of the team, are you? Is that right?
Yeah.
What's your name, sir?
Marcus, me mate.
Marcus?
Yeah.
So, what made you want to join?
Just because I'm a support worker all
Okay.
the time, and
Yeah.
the time I'm at work, I think why not go and help out where I can.
Okay.
So if I've got enough time on my hands, everything's sorted and that. So I
Yeah.
think, why not make something essential and if I can bring a bit of skill to the table and teach the people and
Yeah.
maybe improve things or something a little bit. But
So, what skill set do you think you're going to bring to Pag?
Just like, I don't know, maybe behavioural support or something.
Sure.
And analysis.
Right.
And how to record things properly.
Okay. Because of your job,
Yeah.
obviously. Right.
Like,
How long have you been doing it? Is it social work you do?
Yeah, I'm a support worker.
Support worker. How long have you been a support worker?
I'm a support worker for like 11 months now.
Okay.
Maybe 10 months, yeah.
Right. Excellent.
It's alright to be honest.
So what made you initially get involved with Billy then? What was the straw that broke the camel's back? Do you know Billy or have
No,
you just been watching what work they've been doing?
I follow the things and that online,
Yep.
like what people do, and I always wanted to think, I'd like to offer a bit of support, maybe a bit of security or something, or maybe a bit of help, or be a decoy or something, and help
Sure.
keep like people what pose a risk to children off the street kind of thing. And I thought, I'd even do that off my own back. But then I seen my parents against screaming, and I was like, surely somebody can do that. And if not, somebody just need to talk to.
Yeah.
Just as a civil person, you don't need a professional just to somebody to wear you out. Somebody just needs somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
To make a difference. Who knows? You could save somebody's life eventually.
Well, it's part of Rochdale's problem, isn't it? There's
Yeah.
so many issues
Because
here, no one wants to talk about it or
It
address
doesn't
it.
seem like we get enough help for it, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree with
Like,
that.
and it's well known, like, if I said to somebody, I'm from Rochdale, the first thing they say is grooming gangs. And like, a bit sad that,
But yet the news won't cover it.
yeah, I'm like a bit sad that the area that you grew up in, like your bar.
It's got a nasty connotation to
Yeah,
it.
and that's the
you
first
know.
thing, people from Brighton, London or whatever, you could be on the Xbox, so people are like, oh, you're from Rochdale. Isn't that what all that thing happened? And you're like, unfortunately, yeah. And then I do disagree with like how a lot of it got dealt with, but I just think if I can do something to help somebody and
Yeah.
essentially save somebody's life or whatever,
Yeah.
I might just need it at the right time. So
Yeah.
I thought, I'm volunteering.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
you can
yeah.
do it out of goodness of your own heart.
It's a very worthwhile cause what Pag's doing. So anyone who can bring any skill sets to the table for these guys, it's only going to make the organisation even stronger moving forward. You know, they've got everything is starting to click into place for me with Pag. They've got obviously the premises that they've opened up. They're doing such positive events like this. You know, they're doing other sponsored events, and they're getting more peer-to-peer kind of people coming in and wanting consultation. You've got a new female peer-to-peer that's starting, so it's just growing and growing with each week. So this is so positive. So going back to today, what's your role been today then?
Arguing with lots of kids.
That's where I'm getting at.
That's probably the hardest thing.
It's stressful, isn't it?
How can you argue with kids? You know what I mean?
But what are the shenanigans that are the kids getting up to on there?
I deal with all sorts being a support worker with kids. So I'm like, oh man, how do you only allow so many on? How do you tell them that they want 5 minutes? How do you ask a kid for a quid? You know what I mean? How do you do it?
And they're ducking on when you're back
yeah,
saying,
they rip you off, absolutely. Turn a blind eye, 6 go on, and you're like,
yeah,
and then Billy's looking at me like,
yeah.
the kids.
Billy wants the money.
What do you want me to do? Manhandle him?
I think he does. He does.
No, it's alright, but I've learned like with kids, yeah, I've got it in there, you haven't. I was like, I don't even know, mate, like, what am I supposed to do? I'm just getting lemonade on the bounce castle. But it's fun. Billy came over the right time, giving me a hand.
Yeah. He needed to get off it before. He was looking pretty stressed out. He couldn't cope with it all.
On the trampoline, and he's like, hey, you alright? There's about 20 people on it, and he's like, we're only supposed to be 6. I was like, not listening, mate. Like, literally not listening. We don't care less of them.
Yeah, it's all part of the fun for these lot, isn't it?
Yeah, give him the thing back. I'm like, what's going on over there doing that?
See, the thing with kids, they don't get orderly cues. They just jump on it. They see the fun and they want a piece, don't they?
Yeah, just like, yeah, let's go for that. I'll go up there and swing over the side. And
yeah, this is a good idea. Yeah.
Keep them souls a bit. But,
oh, so it's a positive day. I mean, it's brilliant. So are you going to be all day, are you?
Yeah, like, well, I'm working tonight, so...
Oh, okay.
I'm here till things. I don't start work till 10.
Right.
I've got, like, the day to help out or whatever, and evening or whatever. And, but yeah, give me an hand if I need it. Billy said, like, he came at the right time as well to start getting busy. So,
sure.
I'm like, right, yeah, cool.
Yeah, it is. And there's still plenty of time to go, so I'm sure it's going to get more busy as the day goes on, really.
Like, we've all, like, shared it enough times as well and got it out there a bit.
Sure.
So, like, even on my mates and all that, like, my family and kids with my family and all that might be coming, so... Because it's a good cause as well, everybody's pulling the rope in the right direction.
Certainly.
It's all right.
Positive and proactive.
And everybody knows each other as well, which is a bonus, so...
Yeah.
Be a bit cheeky if you want to.
Well, yeah, it's all good camaraderie, isn't it? Well, I'm going to keep doing the rounds and just try and document what's going on, mate. Thanks for your service,
worries.
Thanks for everything.
Honestly, you're more than welcome, mate. It's a pleasure.
Nice one, mate.
No worries.
See you soon. Oh, what a great guy. All right. Loving this. It's fantastic. It is growing. There's more and more people coming in now as well. So you can see that this is the apparatus that is causing the most issues. I'm telling you, the police are going to get called in a minute. Something's going to go down. So we'll have a little look inside in a minute, see what's going on. I think Linda's in there. Dee, Samantha's mother. I wonder whether Samantha is on this today. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? So yes, I was in London all day yesterday, so it was a bit of a strain to get myself up this morning. I must admit, didn't get home till about 11 o'clock last night. I didn't do any streaming. And for the simple fact that I was with Brit Girl in London yesterday, and Brit Girl was doing her best to try and stream the event, and they were just, you know, the system, the establishment, they were doing the best to do a Bob Marley. Now, you might think to yourself, what's he on about Bob Marley? They were jamming, they were blocking the signal all over the place. So what Brit Girl found is that within like 5 minutes of literally going on the stream, the internet connection was just dropping. You could not explain it. And because the internet connection was dropping, you then could not upload. So she found that for most of the day, not even one of the streams had even uploaded to a channel. So it seemed like a bit of a waste of time. So I've always felt that with London when it comes to streaming. It's a bloody joke. So I just went and hard recorded it. Now hard recording gives you a lot more work because you know, I literally went home with hours of footage that I've been sifting through. And even literally on my way down here today, sorry mate, I've got my laptop packed in my bag, and on the tram up here, I've been trying to edit the early stages of when I arrived and whatnot. So over the next couple of days, there will be more on the coverage that I got. I stayed on the periphery of everything that was going on. I literally floated in and out, and it was brilliant. The weather was awesome. There was thousands and thousands of people there. It was ridiculously positive. So I enjoyed the whole day. I met a few people there that I've not seen for a good few months, so it was nice to catch up with them. There's also some people that decided that they didn't want to talk to Red Pill Phil because of the Blue Pill Phil bollocks, and that was very evident. Quite childish, but fine. That is absolutely fine. All in a day's work. went there, gone and done my footage. I'm back here in Rochdale at the Spotland Social Club. Pag Uk Funday. So let me have a little look at some of the stalls. Let's see what's going on. John Lawrence has been speaking about Phil again. In what way, mate? In a positive way or a negative way? Who's this blue pill Phil? Oh, long story. If you don't know the story, ask John Lawrence. Really? Right, well, you know, it's a shame. It is a shame. It is a shame because that John Lawrence was a man I promoted like hell in the beginning. Smart guy, or at least I thought he was. Thought he was a bit of patriot. We all stuck together. We all done things. And then what he done, if anyone doesn't know, he decided to go live on a stream because I was no longer covering Tommy Robinson. He decided to go live on a stream to hundreds of thousands of people and start castigating me as an individual when I've said nothing negative to him. It was all, oh, he don't like Tommy. We call him Blue Pill Phil. So for him to do that, knowing that we was friends, knowing that I supported him, knowing that it was me who suggested him to go on PayPal and all the other positive stuff because I seen what he was trying to do. He was a good guy. So for him to turn his back, but the only thing is, within all that, it wasn't so much his fault, it was the Muppets behind him that was putting him up to it, but he was a dickhead enough to do it, so it totally disappointed me. So I don't know what he's been saying, I don't even want to get into it because I'm on another train now. I'm on a positive thing, so I have no idea what he's doing. I hope he's good, and I've got no malice against any of them, but like I say, just the basic point is that yesterday when I went there, as well as there was people who knew all about what I was doing and hadn't seen me for months. And you know the other thing that was said? A lot of people come up to me and said, Phil, you've gone really quiet. I'm like, what do you mean? So, you're not doing anything? So what? If anyone watches my channel, they know that I've been doing nothing but stuff. So to suggest that I've gone quiet means that I have been somewhat isolated from it all. So it was very much a psychological event yesterday. Anyway, I'm not going on about that because it's a fun day. Fun day. Fun day. Hello there. Oh, nice little wave. You having a good time? Oh. What else is going on here? How we doing? You all right?
Yeah.
You all right? So what's for sale here then? We've got some magazines.
We've got oil burners, like key rings,
Oh, right.
dog tags,
Yeah.
colouring stuff, off bits.
Oh, wow. And is it all flying out, right?
Yeah, it's doing well at the moment.
Oh, all bit of extra money.
Yep.
See, this is what Pag's all about, raising much needed funds, but in a positive way. You know, try to give something back to the community at the same time. It's brilliant, isn't it? Brilliant. Right, should we have a little wander in? Let's see what's going on. Like I say, you might not hear a lot now once I get in here, so let's go. Oh, cheers, SPJ. Nice one, mate. Right. Oh, look, it's busy in here. Oh, you all right? Oh, no. That'll cost you a few more sweets, mate. It's busy in here. I can't even get in. Oh, really? Oh, that's nice of John, isn't it? Anyway, I'm done. I've said my piece on him. See, even though he said what he said, I never say stay away from John. I never say don't follow him, do I? So you can tell who's the positive and who are the real fascists in this movement. But anyway, right, so let's see what's going on. Yes, sir. Quite busy now, isn't it? Where's Linda? There's Linda. feeling, Dom? Alright, what's going on here, then, Dom? Oh, right. You alright? How you doing? Cigar box you got it? Certainly. Wow, how much are they knocking out on?
$3.50 the big one.
Really? Look at this. Wow. I need to have an interview with Linda, but it's that noisy in here. You're right, buddy. Can't really hear nothing. But you can see it's busy. There's a lot going on in there. I'm gonna get out where it's a bit more peaceful. Woo! It's all happening. So look at this. Positive. Yeah, Rose. Hi, Rose. How you doing? I hope you're well. I've not answered your text, by the way, just because I've been so busy. I will get back to you. But yeah, you know what is really positive, Rose? You can see everyone's just in a nice, chilled mood, just getting on with it. You know, it's in the nestled in the middle of an estate in Rochdale. So it just gives the community of Rochdale something positive. Even if the reason why it's been organised is that's something negative, but it's proactive. It's not standing on a soapbox screaming and getting angry. It's going, right, we've got a problem, right, let's get these facilities, right, we need some money, right, how do we do it? And boom, look at this. Which will spread awareness to the people of Rochdale, raise much needed funds, and it shows the wider public like yourselves that are people that are trying to do it in a proactive, positive way. Because that's what we're missing. That's what we're missing in this movement. There's not many movements that are doing things in a proactive way. We're all outraged, and I get it. I do get it. Well, let's hope none, mate. Let's hope none. I'm not even going to go there. But it is a valid point, sir. Can't knock you for thinking that. Hey up. Hey up. What have we got here? Got bloody Mickey Mouse. And Mario. Look at this. Getting on this. Say hello to the stream. Mickey, Minnie and Mario. Well done, guys. You're true, you can't. You've got to ask the question. And it was funny. Now you bring that point up, it was funny because one of the guys who was on the Copper Summit, Wes, who I was speaking to right at the beginning of the stream, he was saying to me, he can't handle it. He cannot handle conversations about sexual exploitation, the rape of children, you know, historical abuse. He can't handle it. He said what he can do, he can get very proactive, very quickly, and do something positive to raise money, but he can't sit and talk about it. Now, I get that because so many people are exactly the same. It's almost like they don't want to know it's there, they don't want to contemplate it because the thought process they will have to go through to go there, they can't contemplate that, they don't. They want to keep themselves in a nice place, and don't we all? But I'll never forget, I'll tell you one story, I'll never forget, there was a guy I knew, I still know, I'd done a mixtape for him, and he'd asked me could I bring it round to his house, so I brought it round. We were having a cig in his back garden. At that point, I'd just been watching a documentary called Conspiracy of Silence. Now, I'm sure most of my awake subbers know exactly what that documentary is all about. So, I was explaining, because it was fresh in my head and it fucking outraged me. So I was explaining to him, listen, this this, that and that. Explaining about the tunnels and about the feeding the elites with kids that are going on private planes, being shepherded all over the fucking world. And it was sick. And it was all leading from the Republican Party, from a black man. Oh, sorry guys, sorry. The youngest phoned. So yeah, are we back on? We're back on. Yes, hi Daz. So yeah, where I was at, I was explaining to this guy about this documentary, right? Now he could not handle it, could visibly see. I wasn't going too graphic, so there was no need for him to freak out, but he did freak out. He turned round to his grown-ass man. He turned round to his mate and said, what is your favourite 5 superheroes? So he'd gone from an intellectual conversation about the rape and the sex trafficking, the human trafficking of kids, to Batman, Spider-Man, and all the rest of it. So he kind of went childlike, which was very strange, but that is indicative of what Wes was talking about. Some people don't want to go there. So it is strange. It is a strange one. I don't mind going there because you've got to digest the truth in actually to get to the bottom of it. Now, that might make you uncomfortable. It might talk about things that are uncomfortable, but that is life, isn't it? You know what I mean? I'm not going to kind of frame it in a nice way when it's not altogether nice. So, yeah. So that was that anyway. So, right, let's keep going. Look, we've got all this going on. We're back. Sorry about that, guys. What's going on here? Right, let me go through, let me get the flyer out and I'll explain exactly what's going on. Right, let me just get myself over here where it's a bit quiet. Hello if you've just jumped on, by the way. Hello. Where we're at Spotland Social Club, which is in Rochdale. Okay, let me just get the flyer out and I'll give you every bit of detail I can. Okay, we're at Spotland Reform Club, Edenfield Street, Rochdale, OL12 7PB. Now, it's a Pag Uk Family Funday, which is, it's got loads of different events, face painting, mascots, candy car auctions, raffles, candy floss stand, inflatables, popcorn stand, Mr. Tumble, see Mickey, Minnie and Mario over there as well. Hot dog stand, tombola, DJ. All it costs £1 entry or £3 for a family. Fun day to raise the cost of keeping our community hub open, which is obviously the Pag Uk Walking Centre. So he's proactive, he's giving the kids something to do, bringing back a bit of community spirit, raising some cash and raising some awareness. Boom, boom, frigging boom. That's what I'm saying. So, where are we at? See what's going on. I am, mate. You all right, pal?
Yeah, all the best, man.
Cheers, thank you. Awesomeness. Awesome. What a day for it. Should have a bowling competition with it being on a bowling green. I've never done it, but I'd love to have a go at it. Throw the jack out and throw the ball. Knowing my luck, it'd freaking do a total loop-de-loop and come back to me. There's the man himself. Wes, funny guy, very funny guy. And just a little bit of an inside story. Wes over there, he actually put a post up on Facebook critiquing Richard Farnell. Okay, Richard Farnell used to be the leader, didn't he? Rochdale Council. Turned out he's pretty much hopefully going to get done for perjury because he lied. He lied his tits off. So this man here, he put a post up kind of just intimating that. Next thing you know, he gets correspondence from Julian, which is, all right, mate, right, listen, while we're here, dude, I'm just explaining what had gone on with Julian.
Yeah, it's just no need for it.
Yeah, we don't have to go into all the nooks and crannies, but
There was just no need for
there was
that.
just no need, was there? There was a
Absolute no
slight
need.
intimidation that was going on, a bit of bullying, because you decided to just speak the truth.
Yeah.
So that's it. We don't need to go any more than that. It just
no,
got a bit
and,
ridiculous, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then if I'm honest with you, I am going to say I put it on him, and he didn't want it. So all this talking, inflamed shite. If I'm honest with you.
Well,
Trying to bully people.
Exactly.
And trying to do these sort of things so that they can intimidate people so they can't speak out. Well, you didn't win, I won. You didn't.
That's the one, mate. Well said. See? Straight from the horse's pissing mouth. Don't do it. People want to speak out. They've got a right to say that Farnell's are fucking wrong, and so then you're going to get members of his family that are going to go around like Don Corleone, start intimidating people, threatening people. Yeah, this Julian rung his missus up and said, we're going to send some guys to your fucking house. Seriously? Seriously? So you can tell Wes wasn't having that. Right, let's see what's going on in here. Looks like it's lively. Tell you need a taser. Taser, look, not happy. Not happy. Got to keep an eye on these kids, I'm telling you. Rum as anything. Yes, the money is going to Pag. The money is literally to pay the rent. What I'm going to do, I'm going to speak to a lovely lady called Debbie. You can see in the middle of the picture now, she's got a grey dress on and a hat. That lovely lady has been instrumental in organising this whole event. I think she's streaming now. She's doing a little bit. How you doing, Debbie?
I'm live in it.
We're both live. How weird's that? That's a first, isn't it? So we're both watching each other on each other's streams.
There we go. And this chap's doing a good job as well. I don't know what he's doing, and what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm just live streaming on the YouTube about the event for Pag UK.
Yeah.
Same with you. Well, I will be having a chat with you, Debbie, because I've just mentioned on the stream that you were one of the major organisers.
Yeah,
and what
we
we
do it all the time, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Got to help, haven't we?
Indeed.
Put back in. We're very lucky to be here, to be fair.
Exactly.
Very lucky.
Yes.
Yeah. Lovely day.
Well done for your service, Debbie. Right, is any of these kids getting barred yet or what? Wonder whether there's a sin bin for any naughty kids on the inflatables.
I think you have to wait now.
Look, it's just so busy. Oh, kids crying. It's supposed to be a fun day. What's going on here? Fun. It's fun, mate. It's fun. Oh, you love it. Certainly getting busy now. So 2 till 6, guys. If you're local, bring your kids down. Spend a couple of hours here. There's Wayne, first aider. See, so all them allegations about Pag UK not being qualified, remember what ITV said about safeguarding, all that bollocks? These guys have got all the tickets, and they've just got a new recruit who's got more tickets as well. So they're more than qualified. They're overqualified. That's not even the issue. So let's get back to talking about Pag ITV. I've still not put all the footage out yet. There's still a couple of interviews. There's one from Dawn, one from Danny, and one from Janaea that I've still not been able to do. Right, Dee? And I did say, didn't I? I probably still will get all that out, even if it's 6 months' time before it comes out, before ITV, get the thumb out their arse and put it on air it. They won't, will they? You know they won't. Safeguarding my arse. How you doing, buddy? Hey, what's today mean to you, Dean?
It's everything. Not just raising money for the walking centre, but building the community as well, getting them all together. And,
Yeah, look how positive it is.
it's,
Getting awareness.
yeah.
You know what I mean? You got some rum kids doing some naughty things on that inflatable, mate. I don't literally.
I'll break my neck on that.
You need to put all your pack skills into getting them kids on that
Not enough skills, mate. Not enough skills in the world.
Just leave them alone, innit?
Yeah.
Oh,
The
Jesus.
kids make the run rings out.
Oh, mate, I
That's
know.
what it's all about, though, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's all about the kids.
It is, mate. Giving them something to get into the community, a bit of community spirit, raising money, raising awareness.
Keep the walking centre going. Have a good day.
Yep,
Parents can do what they want.
yep.
Kids are safe. There's enough people there to look after them.
Not any incidents, everyone's getting on, everyone's having a laugh, aren't they?
Right, that's Rochdale, isn't it?
Yeah, it won't last long.
Yeah,
So I see your missus is doing a blinding job over there as well.
yeah. Got the kids helping as well.
Yeah.
They love it though. It's like a little shop to them.
Oh, brilliant. Mate, I'm buzzing. I am buzzing. I'm still a bit knackered, if I must admit, from
London is
the long day yesterday, but this is kind of waking me up a little bit, just seeing all this, you know. Just fun. Just looks so
Sun's
much
out as
fun.
well.
Beautiful day, mate. Absolutely glorious. See what's going on. All right, mate, no worries. I told you this inflatable is where all the trouble's going to start. It's where it's going to start. From that inflatable, I'm telling you. $29 thumbs up, that's brilliant, guys. Get the awareness out if you can, share it, like it, do whatever you can. It's not about Red Pill Phil, it's about Pag UK. It's just getting this message out, this positive message. Look at this, yeah? Community spirit, bringing it back, but with a serious issue in the background. Pay up. Massive queue for this. This is well a hit.
You're a Red Pill Phil, aren't you?
I am, sir, yes. You
yeah.
alright, mate?
Yeah, I watch all your videos, so I thought I'd come along and say hello.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be doing with these guys, but I'd like to do something.
Okay.
So I'm not a victim, I'm not a survivor. Out like
Right,
that.
right,
But
right.
Rochdale lad,
Okay.
I used to, until a few years ago, be a counsellor in Rochdale. But now to do with any of the current lot,
Yeah.
who have given fuck all support,
Yeah.
I'm never going to stand again. And obviously I was not to do with it.
So when you was a counsellor back then, did you notice anything untoward or anything
I
that
was
made
the
you...
one person that took on Cyril Smith. So
Really?
he came to Rochdale. I used to be chair.
I'm
of
actually
Rochdale Township.
streaming now, you don't mind being
no,
on it,
that's
do you?
perfectly
Do you
fine.
mind being on it, or would you rather not be on
well,
it?
I came over. I didn't realise you stick
Right,
out.
let's stick you on
if
it,
you want
mate.
to have a little chat, that's fine.
Yeah,
I don't
go
know how it
for
will
it.
turn out, but that's
Go for it. Yeah, that's fine. So, sorry, mate, you were saying... But you
Yeah,
took
so-
on Cyril Smith.
So, just so it, I didn't realise you're streaming. So, I'm a Spotland lad.
Right.
Spotland. Elwyn Watkins. I used to go to the same. I went to nursery school, same place on Fairlane as Cyril Smith.
Oh, right.
Went to Spotland Primary School like Cyril Smith did.
Wow.
And when I went to Alder Hill, he built Alder Hill School.
Right.
So I must have known. I knew Cyril Smith in 2 periods. One when I was a teenager. Then I went away. I was away for perhaps 20 years.
Right.
Then I came back.
Yeah.
And you know when you become like from a teenager to a grown man,
Yes.
a lot of the people that were your heroes when you were a teenager, suddenly you find the reality of them. So when I was a teenager, so I left Rochdale at 18, I could not think of a bad word to think about Cyril Smith. He was always, seemed to be helping a lot of people. I was part of his gang, if you like, of...
Yeah. He was a very charismatic man, wasn't he, back in the day?
If he knew your mother was in hospital, he'd say, oh, don't worry, I'll ring up the consultants, I'll make sure that he gives your mother the best treatment. Anything you wanted, he would say, don't worry, I'll sort that out for you, I'll do that for you.
Right.
So when you're on his right side of him, you just thought, he just sorts out everything. I mean, I went to the London School of Economics,
Right.
and one of the governors was a woman called Lady Sear at that time, and he knew her. So he said, I'll have a word with her and tell them that you're going to the college, I'll put a good word in for you. I don't think anything ever happened,
Sure.
but I think it was all an illusion.
Right.
When I came back in 2004, I went away in 82, came back 2004, and he was like a completely different person to me, a complete dominating...
So what had
bully.
changed in that? What had you noticed in it?
I think me's changed.
Yeah,
Okay, because
right.
when you're a teenager, you just kind of you tend to trust things, and
Yeah.
you tend to kind of you tend to believe in people. Then when you're a bit old, I'm 54 now, but when I came back, I was obviously this will be 14 years ago. So kind of I've been a managing director of a company.
Right.
I'd senior, run factories and stuff.
Was the
So-
stories you'd heard in that gap that made you come to that conclusion?
Well, the big story for me was not to do with the sexual abuse, it was to do with the Turner Brothers asbestos factory, which is literally a mile across here from
Right.
the club here.
Okay.
And the first thing I got involved with there was they were looking to redevelop that. Now, anyone in Scotland knows that Turner Brothers asbestos, the whole site is riddled with asbestos. It had something like 100 years of continuous... We produced in Rochdale something like 60% of all the asbestos goods in Western Europe.
Oh, Western Europe.
It was
Jesus
one of the
Christ.
most successful
Right.
firms, but the offshoot of that was hundreds of people died in Rochdale because
Certainly.
of mesothelioma and asbestosis.
Yes.
And unlike most things, this is a 100% direct result. So if you get asbestosis or mesothelioma, say you get, I don't know, say you get lung cancer, you can see you can get that from 1,000 different sources, whatever, who can tell where it's come from. But from asbestosis or mesothelioma, it definitely comes from asbestos. There's no 100% causal link.
Right.
So the workers here in Scotland they were a good employer and they paid good wages, or comparatively good wages for mill workers. But they knew at the time that people
dangerous.
were dicing with death. And they knew the first recorded death was something like 100 years ago. And they employed their own doctors to do people's own death certificates. So that supposing you got sick, supposing you got sick, they would go to your wife and say, well, Phil's not been feeling too good. We'll look after him, we'll give him his best care. By the way, this is your company pension, which wasn't exactly great. They weren't exactly generous with the pensions, but if you were faced with poverty or a small pension, they would say, by the way, let us handle everything, we'll sort it all out for you, we'll fill out all the forms. And of course, this is complete...
So I take it they were filling the forms out to suit their agenda rather than being
This was
truthful and
company
honest.
doctors. These were company doctors that were employed by Turner Brothers Asbestos.
So they're going to put it in a certain
They
way.
were one of the most profitable companies in the UK. Now, in the 1970s, the link with asbestos of how dangerous it came out as like a scientific fact rather than somebody's theory.
Yeah, it's indisputable.
These guys known for 100 years about it because in certain parts of the works, 50% of the people were dying.
Really?
It was, well, it's one of the most carcinogenic processes.
Certainly, yeah.
You've got all these.
But when you've got
fibres.
them numbers, then you can't refute that.
So
You've got to
this is
look
a
at it.
town that has hidden things, not just in terms of sexual abuse.
Certainly.
how many other people, how many doctors, the average person here must have known if you were on the council or if you were involved in the medical field or the local hospital, even the local morgue, they must have known that these were people that were dying quite early of mesothelioma and asbestosis. And it was all kind of, don't say anything. So when it came out, there was a group of, I still am a Liberal, but there was a group of Labour MPs that came out and said, this ban asbestos. Smith was one of the few people that stood up and said, actually, I 100% oppose banning of asbestos manufacture because these are good jobs. And people in Scotland around here trusted him because they thought, well, he's an educated man, he knows what he's talking about.
Well, going back to what you're saying, when you're on his good side, he seems to help you out.
And anyone that causes trouble, you're going to be in trouble.
Yes.
And you are going to be the person that loses your job and all the rest of it.
Wow.
He wasn't the only one, by the way. There was a whole lot of other people that were happy to have a smooth system with TBA. But the result of them not doing what they should have done, which is keep workers safe and keep the local people safe. We now know it's a bit long-winded film, so stop me if it's just too...
Mate, no, it's interesting because I didn't know too much.
This is another aspect of it.
Sure.
The asbestos litigation in America is far more severe than we have here.
Right, okay.
There was a case in America whereby TBA were up in front of the court, and the court in America instructed that the lawyers for the people that had been injured could come to Manchester to the head office of TBA and photograph or photocopy they could take notes of all the paperwork that was in that headquarters office.
Right.
In other words, to see what the company knew and didn't know. And this was in the early 1980s, and at that time were lawyers, and they literally photocopied every document in the place. And then God bless him, the lawyer that was involved with this, then made this all publicly available.
Wow, okay.
So one of the things that we have is a letter from Cyril Smith saying to the company directors, is there anything you'd like to include in my speech tonight? I'm speaking about asbestos. And so instead of representing the people in the town and
he's
saying...
representing the company.
He's representing the company. And what we know now is that people in the streets around here, in this part of Scotland, asbestos was coming out of the chimneys and coming out of the various air vents and stuff. And it was actually having contamination in the streets around here. And the company kept quiet, everybody kept quiet, nobody said anything. So I know it's kind of separate, but there's a parallel there in terms of people keeping quiet, not wanting to rock the boat, and thinking, if I step out of line, there'll be consequences for me. So when I came back, they were looking to redevelop Turner's, and I thought this must have been some sort of joke, because how can you build houses on a place that's highly contaminated? Now, in their planning application, they put in, first of all, they cut down hundreds of trees, which is very dangerous because the trees stabilise the soil. Yeah. And so it's when you start looking around with the soil that you get contamination. I thought this was a mistake here. It's like perhaps they don't realise the history of this site.
But the professionals are highly intelligent people.
Well, you think that. But one of the things, that they put in the application was and this is all documented. They put in, of particular note is the absence of asbestos on the site.
Really?
I know people went, no. So anyway, poor Owen did a bad job in terms of the cover-up of Knoll View. He even admitted himself he didn't do enough. But he and myself got enough money together to put a professional report in about the site. So these were professional consulting engineers that you pay them the money, they give you a report. And I was a bit sceptical at the time. It cost something like 70,000 quid. I was sceptical at the time whether it would be another flannel of cover-up type of thing.
Certainly, yeah.
What they actually came through with was a bombshell. They said there's 30,000 tonnes of asbestos on the TBA site. Now, a cup will weigh 10 grams, and if there was a cup in your front living room, you'd have to have professional...
To remove it, it's
highly dangerous.
Yeah.
Now, it's safe under the soil, it's safe where it is, but the last thing you need is JCBs and...
digging it up, turning it.
Soil levelers and people building foundations and all the rest of it. So they then started a great big campaign to keep the site safe. So it wasn't a NIMBY, we don't want houses built on the site, it was safety first. And actually, because so many people died, we actually had more experts than they ever did in terms of trade unions came forward and said, this is what we know, and we had a very informal alliance. But all the time, Smith opposed us. Now, I got summoned to his house when I became a councillor, and he basically did this whole thing of, I always knew your ability, I always knew your talent, I knew you'd come back to your hometown.
So he's buttoning it up, yeah.
This whole thing, you've probably had it tons of times yourself, for what people want to, I think you're great, etc. Give you that whole spiel about how fantastic things are.
Yeah.
And I just said, look, everybody knows that tons of asbestos on there. It's a highly contaminated site. You can't do anything at all before you did this whole thing of, you know, don't come against me, da da da. And I've always wondered, what was the point? He'd not been an MP for 20 years. This was his community. He was a councillor and an MP for this area where we stood now. These are people's lives. These are the people who are especially susceptible to asbestos.
With a death rate like that, I can't believe that he's not even brought that up in consideration to what he wants to do with the company.
But he was promoting the development of this
That's
site.
what I'm saying.
And you're thinking, how on earth can anybody, fair enough if you're from somewhere else and you don't know the history of the site, you educate yourself and you think, right, we missed this one. We missed a bullet on this one because it's disastrous. He actively, and there was, at the time as a councillor, I tried to raise this in the council, and Labour councillors and Liberal councillors shouted me down saying I should not raise this because there was a Labour councillor called, if you want to go into this angle sometime, Jason Addy is a good person to talk to, Nick Coates is a good person to talk to, neither of them are Liberals, but Tom Stott, who's not now councillor but was a Labour councillor, he and some of the trade unions went to the Labour Party and said, hang on a minute, we are not going to push through something that is so dangerous to the town. So myself from the Liberals and Tom Stott from Labour, and suddenly it then became open. Suddenly they got hundreds of local people coming to the meetings, including people that had lost family members and stuff, saying, how can you even think about having an asbestos site being built on without the proper standards? So you say to me, when did I know Smith was? Suddenly my eyes were open then in terms of, I'm thinking, there's something really weird here, and there's something really weird about this town, because what is obviously right, people are opposing it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So in terms of the No View stuff, I'd known about No View. I once tried to crash a party there in 1981, I think, 1982. But I didn't really know what it was for.
Gate crashed the party? What do you mean by that?
I went to Old Hill in the sixth form.
Okay.
And a girl a year younger than me, I think her dad was head teacher.
Right.
So they had like some sort of flat there or whatever.
Okay.
We were just a group of lads trying to get in the party.
Yeah,
we walked around the school.
Oh, right. I thought it was a metaphor for something else. It was literally a party and you wanted to... Right, yeah.
No, I thought you raised that. No, it literally was. I think this was after one of the head teachers that came in and tried to reform things and tried to make things better.
Right, okay.
But I didn't know anything about the school at all, really.
Yeah.
The only thing a couple of the asbestos campaigners said to me was, just wait till Smith is dead, then the stuff will come out. And I said, what do you mean? And then they said there's a whole load of stuff going to come out. And of course, there's political rumours all the time about lots of stuff. But I never went to Smith's funeral. I never went to his memorial. I never said nice words about him. In fact, he went to a council meeting and absolutely slammed into me, even though it's from my own party. That was the last council meeting he went to because it ended up really badly for him, because by this time he got more and more angry, and I played it with a straight bat. And I can talk about the incident if that's any helpful. It's only a minor one. Yeah. He wrote me a letter saying he wanted disabled parking in central Rochdale.
Yeah.
And I know why that was. It's because his bank was 15 yards away, and he thought it'd be a good idea to have
adequate parking.
So he wrote me a letter, which is fine. Anyone can write any council letter. Yeah. Anyway, I gave that to the various council staff, and I said, look, I'm handing this on to you. Treat it like any other letter you get. No, don't prejudice it. Don't do favours for it. Just give me honest opinion. And it actually came back that it was too near a crossing. So, in fact, there were good reasons why you shouldn't have it there. Anyway, he turned up to the township meeting, of which I chaired. They said, I don't know whether it's because you're arrogant or ignorant or incompetent or useless, but I went into a whole rant about this. And the interesting thing was there were people from the Scotland ward where we are now who were there for the asbestos stuff, who pretty well every one of them would have known him personally. And they were looking at him as though,
You just don't stop, yeah.
You've lost it, mate. What are you on about? And I just said, look, I don't care who you are in Rochdale. If you come up to me with a thing, you don't get special favours. I'm not going to, if I like you, I'm not going to do you a favour. If you dislike me, I'm not going to do you a...
Because ultimately, it's against the will of the people. It's all right sorting him out and his personal interest, but your interest is to the constituents, not to him.
As a councillor, you sign on that you have to treat everybody with respect and everybody equally. So there can be no... I know in reality it doesn't turn out that way usually, but that's what you agree to. But by this time, I was very clear that he was... If you're part of his gang, to be frank, it almost killed me. So you go to a meeting...
Was the levels of like intimidation around all that?
Yeah. Rather than intimidation, I would say it's more to do with he would ring people up, he'd feed them this piece of information. I think he spent his whole life on the phone.
Right.
And I'm clear now that was about don't let anybody get too powerful or too informed.
Cementing his own power.
Last thing he needs is people starting asking broader questions about stuff, or once you lose that authority. The inquiry said there was no collusion between the different political parties. What I think there was he rang up pretty well every councillor and had a relationship with probably half of them in terms of, you should know this is happening, that's happening, if you help me with this, I'll help you with that, etc., etc. So he was like a spider in the middle of the web.
Sure.
Nothing to do, no, and I didn't do it for the cash. I did it because of trying to go back to my hometown and try and do my little bit. But also, I've come across bullies before, but I've never come across somebody who is that pernicious and that malicious. And now we know why, which was that he always dreaded the knock on the door, and he always dreaded the idea that a group of people would become powerful enough to start challenging him. So we've only started to answer some of the questions in terms of the abuse and in terms of why stuff wasn't done. In 1992, he was appointed to chair of Knowlview School.
Right.
Now, this is an open meeting. Now, anyone can oppose this. As far as I'm aware, not a single councillor said...
Even though they knew about his history with the asbestos, they knew about his history with his...
Stuff about that, but this was 1992.
Right, okay.
So the Cambridge House stuff came out in 1979.
Sure.
So where was the safeguarding stuff? Where was the whole stuff? But my point is,
there was enough to know to question him at least.
There was nobody there saying.
Is that because they're spineless, or was that because he was that powerful, or he had that much of a reach?
I asked myself this question probably a million times since the whole thing is. He was an incredibly... did you ever meet him?
No. I've seen a lot of reels. He's a very charismatic, larger-than-life character.
His ability to be able to smooth talk people.
Sure.
He talked to you about... I know people at the BBC. I've seen your videos. Why don't you work for the BBC? I'm seeing the Director General next week. You know, they've got a programme for young black guys who've got talent. Why don't I put your name forward? And you're going,
can't believe it.
This is, and if you are, you're working hard, you're trying to get your breaks, you're trying to be honest and truthful about your documentaries. How are you going? God, this could be amazing here now.
But all he's initially doing there is strengthening his own corruption group.
Yeah, correct.
He's not helping you in a sense. He's not interested about you, or at least that's the way it comes across. It's more like, well, if I help him out, he's one, not going to say anything bad, and two, automatically might defend me further down the line.
Yeah. I think there's a lot in that, but also I think that go back a generation, especially in this area here,
Yeah.
this is a working class ward.
Sure.
And so lots of people, well, like here now, I mean, nothing against, but people need something sorted out with, say, somebody's threatening to take their kids into care.
Sure.
They find an expert, and if somebody goes, I'll sort that out for you, love, they have that thing of, thank God for that.
Someone's
And
listening, yeah.
the number of people you talk his other activities. And by the way, there are still liberals in this town that still think that it's all a big rumour, that somehow or other it's all false. People like yourself are, making it all up. People like myself are bitter and twisted and, fake news, etc. Okay.
Yeah.
And you think, well, there's been something like 5 different police forces now where coppers have come forward, retired coppers. It can only affect them in an adverse way, and they're going, yeah, I was involved with that. I was told not to question him. Remember that? I don't really remember the one about outside the prison.
No.
Where there was a documentary done where 2 police officers were due to question somebody who was inside.
Right.
And before they went at the prison gates in the car park, they were questioned by 2 special branch guys who were saying, we know you've come to see, I forget the name of the lad, but we don't want you to question him because of various reasons. And the police officers basically said, do one. We're here to do our job, get stuffed. But they came forward, or one of them came forward years later to say, I remember that conversation being really strange, and what was it all about?
So they knew.
Sorry?
They knew. They all knew. The cover up.
Yeah, and we've yet to get to the heart of how that all happened.
Sure.
So
we do know that the highest intelligence forces knew all about his goings on.
Well, when you say that, that's a very broad brush statement, isn't it?
Yeah, but you can say that without actually having to provide the proof, in a sense that we all know that is common knowledge. There's enough headlines to prove that. Even the ICSA report that's currently being streamed now, Lord Steele has now come out and admitted that there was more to Cyril Smith in the day, considering at the time when it was brought to Lord Steele's attention, all he could muster was, well, I don't see anything wrong with him just smacking a few bottoms.
Yeah.
That was the statement which he said. He's now come in last week and said he pretty much knew all about it.
I read the evidence.
Yeah.
I read the evidence. I always try and be balanced with this because I think that truth is really important in this.
It's got to be, yeah.
So, Steele is 80 years old, and he's hard of hearing. And I actually think some of those questions but there's no question at all that he should have done a huge amount more than he actually did. I'm surprised he didn't do the Farrell approach, which is 40 years ago, I don't remember anything, etc., etc. For me, I'm still a liberal, I'm not really active now, but somebody should be coming here and apologising to the people of Rochdale. When you've got your live streams, one of my suggestions to Billy, that actually, if he has some honour, he should come here and he should sit in front of various survivors.
It's a very good idea.
And he should listen to them, hear their stories and stuff, and then think, well, if I'd done something differently, not all the abuse here got caused by Cyril Smith, but it's that causal thing, isn't it? Which is only because of the Savile stuff coming out, dominoes, isn't it?
Sure.
And if action had been taken by key people 40 years ago, perhaps none of this would be here. Yeah.
But it does spell out that the only reason they've come out with this information is because, one, they've been forced to, and the weight of evidence against them means that they can't really deny it for much longer.
Well,
which hurts when, in a sense, when you know that, let's get to the truth. And that's the annoying bit.
If you've seen the inquiry, okay, I'd have a lot more respect for somebody that turns up and says, do you know what? I completely messed up.
Fair play.
I completely messed up, and I'm really sorry for it.
Yeah.
What's happened so far is they've either done you've got no evidence against me, or I've got amnesia, or I've got mental...
He's questioning his moral compass. That's really all we can kind of do in it. You as an individual, if you knew about it, can you sleep at night knowing that you've done absolutely nothing, and then 20, 30 years, 40 years later you're coming and saying, well, I kind of did know more than...
Or they do a half-arsed apology, which is, had I known this and caveat, I known this caveat, then it would all been... then it would all been... Perhaps they'd been different.
Yes.
Okay. I actually don't think it works that way. I think I don't know whether how many of the videos you actually do with the shatterboards.
Right, okay.
But did you see Wayne's one the other day?
No, I haven't seen it, no.
With the tattoos.
Oh, right, I've seen the thumbnail of it. I've not actually watched the stream because I've been all over the place.
Well, for anybody, to be honest, not just Rochdale, anybody should watch that video because the pain of that lad, obviously he's come forward. And
he's just gone through a court case that did not go his way.
This is a big issue. And
he's a great guy, Wayne.
For me, but let's do it a little bit first. Everyone should watch that video. And if I'd been his barrister, and I said, take your shirt off, pal, okay. And once the jury sees those tattoos done of how you feel about yourself, that expresses in a far clearer way than you as a roughy-tufty lad can do about what happened to you. That one where he's imprisoned in the egg timer thing,
right,
with his abuse. It's like, I can't get out, I'm trapped and stuff. But the real issue you mentioned, which is extremely valid, somebody needs to be saying in the House of Lords or in the House of Commons this, is that if you've got a lad who is now roughy-tufty lad, looks a bit hard, they may not be, maybe, and they go into the witness box and they are not used to witness box and all that sort of stuff, they can come over as very tough and hard, and then you've got the little old man who's in the box. You lose sympathy for him because of his stature. You see little old man and you think, God, how on earth does that guy who's 6 foot plus, if he walked down the street, I'd be thinking, he looks pretty hard. How come that abuse happened? But it's not just about the physical side of stuff. You get this in lots of stuff. Once you get that psychological stuff of abuse happening, it's not about whether you're bigger than the person or you're more powerful than the person. It's about you have that psychological edge, which means that you dominate them. This is why, as much as the physical thing. Yeah. So it's not just about the whole idea, but that idea of if you've got a working class lad who appears to be physically able to look after himself, that can come across very badly in a courtroom. And judges get instructions about what they say to a jury. And so we used to have years ago that if a woman was in a nice dress looking glamorous, then she was more likely to be raped. And judges now say you cannot take account of what she was wearing or whether she'd had alcohol or whatever. This is the instructions that judges give to jurors. They should also be saying now, actually, you see this lad that looks tough. You should not take into account the fact that he looks tough and his accuser is an 80-year-old bloke that looks really pathetic. Sure. That does not count against the fact that 40 years ago
it wouldn't have been like that.
He was a little lad. And by the way, I love whoever designed the Make the Lad Visible campaign and Make the Girl Visible. That's just a fantastic campaign. I think it's really, really effective. But one of the messages they have to get through is the idea that you treat people not by how they look now, but by what they were like 40 years ago, when they were teenage lads who were desperately looking for a father figure, maybe desperately looking for love, desperately looking for respect, desperately looking for all the stuff that teenage lads look for. And somebody then says, okay, well, I'll that's the essence of grooming, isn't it?
Yeah. So, I mean, going back to Wayne, he's an absolutely spot-on lad.
I've never met him.
I've met him. I've had a good chat with him. I know he was going through that case. I know it went really badly for him. Not that it should have, but that's the way it went. And he did say that one day he would like to talk about it. I've never spoke to him since regarding that. I've kind of just left him alone. Yeah. And if he ever wants to get back to me, he knows we can have an interview the next morning.
What I find felt very strange is that we know now that lots of lads who are now men, have been very horribly abused. Yeah. We've always known that women have been groomed and abused. I don't understand why Rochdale Council and other councils aren't grasping this, and the government aren't grasping this with both hands and saying, we need to learn from you guys. Look how many people there are here filming. This is amazing.
I know.
For an organisation, full credibility and other people.
Yeah. I mean, it's brilliant to think that through communities, these guys are not getting angry. They're not trying to rip down council buildings. They're trying to be proactive, try to help the community again, rebuild them back again. But by doing that, it's creating much funds for PAG and creating awareness for streams like this.
But you know, as a northern lad, how difficult it must be for some of these blokes to say to their wife, some of them are grandfathers, and to say to their wife and to their kids, and maybe even their grandkids, look, I've never told you about this, but this is what happened to me.
It's emasculating.
It's tough for anybody, but especially if you're talking about a northern working class town. I think it's even harder. And you go to the football, say, and people go, oh, that's Fred. You know, he was the one that did this, that, and the other. And my respect for these guys in the way they've come forward and the way that to get that first group is incredibly hard, I think. It grows and it grows, but to get that first group that they have, I think is an incredible achievement. But why isn't there been a whole lot of people going, well done? You know, why aren't Radio 4 doing a programme about it? You know, why aren't you on Good Morning Britain? People are going, this is something we need.
We know why, though, don't we, sir? We know why.
What's your theory about that?
My theory is that this problem is so widespread that if they start to do investigative work on it, it will literally peel the onion, that will have to expose people that necessarily don't want to be exposed. So they have to keep this problem to a minimum, and they have to keep saying they're acknowledging we've learned lessons, but we can't delve into it because it just, the onion. You know, Cyril Smith, all the people around Cyril Smith, what's gone on in Parliament and Westminster and all the rest of it, it just goes bigger and wider and wider.
But you think that applies to the dozens of news channels now, the thousands of journalists?
In terms of the career journalist, they won't touch certain stories because they know it's far too big. And I
know there was the issue, or was it ITV or Granada were going to cover the opening of the office? And then suddenly pulled out at the last minute.
Because of safeguarding.
What did they mean by that, Phil?
They meant that what they were trying to say is that no one within the PAG organisation had the adequate qualifications to run that walking centre, which was a total fabrication because each one of them has got safeguarding qualifications. They've got certificates up on the wall. They wasn't up on the wall on the day, but they felt when ITV recorded them, went away within an hour, I'd come back and said, we can't air it because of this. Billy really thought, right, he put the fingers up to him and said, I could prove the safeguarding qualifications to you right now, but you know what, I'm not. He then, obviously they've not touched him, he's then gone and put the safeguarding certificates on the wall. And you've got first aiders, you've got other members. There's a young lad who's just joined now, who's got social skills, he's working as a social care worker. So they're more than qualified. So to utilise that as an excuse not to air it, it's very cheap. And that's not touching at the real issue why they're not covering it, because it's a lie.
Who made the complaint to ITV? Or was it ITV?
Well, it was ITV. Now what Billy seems to think...
Somebody must have rung them to say...
Billy seems to think they've rung the council, or the council have rung them. And then they've put a spanner in the works somehow, which has led ITV to then ring Billy up and say, we can't air it because we've got
This is somebody comes along, look at your policies and procedures for how you deal with certain stuff. Because it is right that you have proper procedures to make sure that they're in place. Somebody that's been abused and vulnerable, etc., you need to make sure they're properly dealt with and professionally dealt with.
Totally agree.
But also, if Rochdale Council said, right, we'll assign a social worker who's got experience of sexual abuse to work with Pag Uk. I can't speak for Billy, but I think they'd bite their hand off in terms of saying, we'll work with somebody who can help us and we'll help them. And I actually think part of this is a control thing, whereby Pag Uk is controlled now by the people round here.
Sure.
The council, Rochdale Council, has always had a history of trying to want to control everything, so it's under their power, if you like, under their empire, rather than groups going, do you know what, we'll work with you, but we will decide our own priorities and we'll decide our own strategy and we will do our own stuff, rather than we'll respect you if you respect us. And what's clear is that you're not getting any, or Pag Uk is not getting any respect at all from the council, government,
Yeah.
or anything.
No survivors matter. They don't acknowledge. They've tried to say that they've listened to carers, they've listened to survivors,
Right.
but you can see there's not one of these survivors has had any consultation with the council or any of the bodies that are affiliated with the council. So I don't know who they've spoke to, but they're trying to play one story when in reality it's a total different story. Now, I totally agree what you're saying, that they've got a control thing, but it's almost backfiring on them because the
No,
more...
it's backfired because if you see this, if you try to, if one of the political parties in Rochdale, whichever
Yeah.
one, tried to have an event like this, they wouldn't get half the people for here. And this has only been going, what, a year?
Yeah. Well, in terms of the walking centre, it's only been there since, I think early January.
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, Pag, I know they've been doing parent patrols and all the other stuff for quite a while now, but they've never had a
The
premises.
other thing
So,
I'd say is you can't be a poacher and gamekeeper.
right.
So in Rochdale, they have something called opening up the files. So let me give you a scenario and see what you think. So suppose you're somebody that's being groomed, or supposedly you know your friend's being groomed. If you contact social services, there's a good chance that social services will investigate that child.
Right.
Now that child may have brothers and sisters. Now there's a danger that they have an increased likelihood of going into care. 550 kids that are now forcible being taken into care. Hence there is a lot of mistrust and there's a lack of trust between vulnerable families and social services, because which parent or who is going to ring up social services if you think that is going to lead you to being taken into care? So one of the reasons why I actually think Pag UK could be absolutely brilliant is that they're almost like a trade union. So that you say, you can come to us, tell your story, we'll give you advice, we'll give you help.
Yeah.
The last thing we're going to do
Just take your kids.
is to ring
Yeah.
the police,
Yeah.
ring social services. Of course, if a child's in danger, fair enough.
So it's help and support without the negative repercussions. That's
No, but
what you're saying.
they know that you're on their side. So
Sure.
if you're say any of the mums here, say you're on your own to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got an organisation and there's a few hundred of you, and you have credibility and your video can be seen by a few thousand people, then suddenly you have more of a power, just like a trade union does, because mess with you. But also the number of cases where social services, there are good and bad everywhere, but the number of times I've come across social services that have lied, and I've known they've lied about stuff. And you think, well, you can get away with that with an individual person because what power do they have? With an organisation, you just say, if you want to have a long-term relationship with us, you've got to always tell us the truth, and we'll always tell you the truth. Otherwise, the relationship doesn't work. So I think that's the issue, that you can't have this relationship whereby the council is trying to pretend to be your friend, but also potentially looking to take your kids into care.
Yeah.
You can't do that. And every social worker, when they do the initial meeting, they always say, I'm here to help you, Phil. We only want the best for you and your family. Well, there are hundreds of families that would disagree with that.
Yeah.
And how do you trust that social worker? So they will trust you, or they'll trust Billy or the gang far more than they would trust a social worker who they think maybe they've got a different agenda. So you get this thing whereby, do you remember the old?
So what you're actually saying is they're not working for the people.
You can't have conflicting agendas. Is my point.
Yeah.
So they're tempted to say, right, well, do you remember the old stuff? I'm now 50, 54. I have signed on a few times in the United Nations and stuff.
Yeah, you're not the only one,
Do you
mate.
remember that? Do you remember that whole thing of, have you worked this week?
Yep.
Know what question to ask. So I think that parents now know if social services contact them about the safety of their child, parents know what questions how to answer, what questions are going to be asked, and what they are going to answer. And the last thing just like the door office, the last thing you do is say, yeah, I applied for 2 jobs, but a couple of hours today. Okay. Nobody ever said that.
No, you're kind of
Because-
just signing yourself
Yes.
off there, aren't you?
That'd be the worst thing to do.
Certainly, yeah.
And if they said, well, do you need extra help with looking for work? The worst thing you could do is to say yeah, or no, whatever the answer is. So this is why Pag could be just a really great model for the future of. I actually think there's a class thing here.
So it's like you're saying, the trust element, by working with the likes of Pag, the people that see that they've truly got their troubles at heart, they're not going to get pulled in. They're not going to get caught into a trap by a
you're on their
embracing
side.
them. Exactly.
You're on their side.
Exactly. Yeah.
And there's a difference between. Let me give you a different way. We now have drug rehabilitation charities.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to get off drugs, you ring them and they will help you get off drugs. If you put the police in charge of that, it'd be a disaster, wouldn't it?
I know, yeah.
So if you rang up the police,
I'm surprised someone has done that already. Actually, the way this world's going.
If you said, I'm taking far too many, say, I don't know, the spice stuff at the moment.
Yeah.
I've got a real problem with spice. I want to sort it out. Can you help me? Nobody would ring up the police if the police were in charge of that, would they? But if you contact a charity, they will say, yeah, come in. What we ideally would like is for you to help you. If you've got...
I'm all right, mate. I'll grab one of this, mate.
Are you sure?
Yeah, sound anyway. Cheers, pal. Thanks a lot.
But the point is that you would trust 100% them to want to help you.
Yeah.
And if you found out that as soon as you left the office, they rang the police and said, this is Phil, this is his address, I've just got his date of birth, this is national insurance, you'd never trust them again. But that's what we do in terms of child protection. And it doesn't work. And we kid ourselves. So Rochdale Council has a thing of, Pioneer and all these awards for, in my view, it's just crap. That doesn't mean there's not good people working in those departments.
But it's not working as well as they like to profess.
It all comes down to trust.
Certainly.
And it all comes down to who do you trust to help you resolve your problem. Rochdale for 10 years now, but I don't feel that people here trust social services.
Yeah, I agree.
And there's more respect for the police. But even then, there is not that kind of idea that the police are working for you in all instances. So I actually think if there's say a trade union would be my best analogy, whereby if you had a problem at work, you go to your trade union, and then it becomes an issue between the employer and the trade union, not you personally. They've got the experience, they've got the ability, but also they've got that strength of being together. That allows them to say, if this boss continues to treat this employee badly, we're going to do something about it, but hopefully you'll do something about it. And just as if you had a complaint about your boss, if they're a bad boss, the chances are they wouldn't take too kindly to you pulling them up on it. But a trade union can do. So that's why I think your model could be, or Billy's model could just be fantastic.
Yeah. Well, that's why I don't mind working with these guys, because I can see what they're doing is positive. They truly, genuinely just want to help people. Yeah. They don't want to do it in an angry manner, start ranting and raving. Although there is a hell of a lot of frustration, and it's clear to see, and it's understandable with what's gone on and the lack of transparency. To put bookends on this, mate, going to Pag, where can you see these guys going in a 5-year time span? The way it's going now, with the way the authorities are treating them, and the way the current climate is at the moment.
You know, I think about Pag quite a lot, and the other groups as well. The other similar groups, which is basically ordinary working class people getting together and helping each other through, just not because of money, not because of to do it, and it's really inspiring, to be frank. It's really good. My only issue I would take with these guys is you can't fight everybody, and I think Billy certainly is like, I don't care, I'll take them all on.
I know.
I'll just line them up, and
because we spoke about it when he first opened the shop. It was everyone was saying, get on some charity status, and Billy is that peeved with the system.
Yeah.
He wants to do it all on his own, but he knows by doing that, the path is a lot more treacherous, and there's going to be hurdles. It's going to be a lot more work. So that's why in the first few months of him opening the Pag, he was finding that he was spending more time trying to raise money to pay the rent and actually do the work what Pag was there for.
Yeah.
And he's still in that quagmire in a sense. That's why it's great to have days like this, because it should give him a bulk enough money to be able to set the foot off the gas in terms of raising funds and go back to doing what Pag does best, pairing patrols and peer-to-peer stuff.
If you said, you know, it Billy reminds me, do you remember in the 1970s, you often, in the football terraces and stuff, you'd have a couple of hard lads that would just run into the opponent's terraces, fling themselves over the railings.
That is Billy.
and they'll fight everybody until the police drag them out. You know, you can do that, but you know, pick your battles. Somehow or other, we've got to get, and I actually think your video could be really, or the videos and stuff. This social media stuff now lots of stuff gets spread.
Sure.
There's the whole idea of decision makers at a top level that are a million miles away from Rochdale, and what they need to do is the idea that they're all corrupt and they're all in for it and they're all covering up some of us arses. Maybe some. I actually don't think that's everybody.
No, you can't say it for everyone. But there's an element of complicit behaviour by them not doing anything. And that's almost like, well, you're just as bad as them because you know it's happening.
I tell you why, it's because they're scared of you guys. Okay. No, they're
I'm a nice guy, mate.
No. No. But maybe I've not put that the right way.
No, I hear what you're saying. Because you've got now independent people who have not got any axe to grind other than try to get the truth out and help people, that are not going through the protocols they go through. We're just doing it straight, getting the information straight out, and it will frighten them because it's getting people to wake up, you know?
I think, somebody told me, I think, that you were once part of the Football Lads Alliance, is that right?
I've never been a member to any of them. I've spoke about them and I've been on marches with the FLA, the DFLA.
Yeah.
There's very little
There's
negativity with them.
Really, whereby you get this mass of ordinary working class people who are desperate for somebody to listen to them.
Yes.
And the question then comes is, why is nobody listening to them?
Yeah.
Okay. And somehow or other we've got to build some bridges to say, right, here's this group of people that you can sit down with and say, these are the issues that we're dealing with. This is how we can back it up with facts. This is what we're trying to do. This is the objectives, whatever. The only issue I've ever said, and you know, people say love Tommy Robinson. Okay, I don't know whether you saw the TV yesterday and all the rest of it.
I was in London yesterday with the rallies.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Whatever your view on this, if you get labelled right-wing extremists, it goes nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I don't know your politics. I don't need to know your politics.
Okay.
The thing that this organisation has to be very careful of is being very careful with that. Now you can say that's totally wrong.
No, I agree. That's where Billy is exactly at, and I am totally 100% agreeing with him. But that's
I know Tommy Robinson has rung Billy a few times and said, I can come up, do a video, and you get a million likes, and you get 10,000.
Let me put you straight on that one, all right? And this is for the stream as well. For anyone listening, this is inside story. Tommy Robinson has never once helped Pag or offered to help Pag. I'll go even further, that a couple of months ago, there was a meeting arranged between Pag, which was Billy, Dean, I think another member of Pag, and Tommy Robinson. And I think a UKIP representative. Billy put to Tommy and asked him, with the size of your platform, is there any chance you could share our stuff, you could talk about our stuff? You know what Tommy said? He said to him, I'm going to keep it as it is. In other words, attacking Islam. Now, what was strange about that is that one of the Pag members that was there was a total fanatic of Tommy Robinson. When Tommy come out with that to Billy, Billy took it in. The other Pag member, who was a Tommy fan, wanted to rip Tommy's head off. Because he could see, I've been following you for all these years. We've come to you with a cap in hand, hoping that you're not going to jump on us all of a sudden, but just give us a helping hand. And you've just categorically said to us there, you're not going to do anything. So that is the actual level of what has gone on.
My personal view is Tommy's out for Tommy. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you can disagree with that.
Yeah.
You can agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For Pag UK, it's easy to make mistakes that then
Bite
it's
you
very
back.
difficult. Tons of people hate Pag UK or hate similar organisations.
Certainly.
You make one mistake and suddenly it's all over the thing, and that gives them an excuse then to say, this is why we can't support them, this is why I can't help them, this is why I can't cooperate with them. So you guys have got to be whiter than white. In fact, still another thing I wanted to say to Billy is, you'll be whiter than white with everything.
That sounds almost racist. Isn't that funny? But I know what you're saying, mate.
No,
You're right.
okay.
You're right.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Yeah, you know I'm only joking, mate. I'm not trying to pull you up on
No,
that.
but if they... if things
It's a
like,
good one. They are.
things like accounts, in things like donations, things
Yeah.
like this, all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff, okay? For, let me put it clearly, Councillor Brett, who was the leader of Rochdale Council, and I hate each other, okay?
Right.
I have my view of him and he has his view of me,
Yeah.
okay? I absolutely know he's going to resist working with you guys 100%.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
if you give him one little reason why he then says, right, this is my reason why I won't talk to them, then
The head
he
of
will
comms
use
is
that.
coming out and calling these guys vigilantes. They're calling them far right. How can you call them that? They're not affiliated to any group that could be considered that way, and they're not vigilantes. They've actually got a conviction rate that is quite high, and the way they go about it is very professional.
So I saw the case, was it 10 days ago, so
Yeah,
100% agree, fantastic job.
yeah, by then.
Absolutely fantastic.
Without a doubt.
Now, without them, the guy would not have been convicted. And let's be clear, he was propositioning young teenage girls for sex. And isn't that something that everybody's against?
Within a stone's throw of the police station.
So they did 100% excellent job there. Now, I live in London now.
Okay.
So what do you know about it?
You're
I
a
know there are
Rochdale
parts-
person.
No, I know in Rochdale Parks now. I know there are certain places where people are going to get propositions, and this makes it very unsafe for particularly young girls to think, right, I'll walk through to town across there, because they know that by even walking through the park, somebody's going to think, oh, that gives me the right to proposition them to whatever. This is unacceptable, isn't it?
Certainly
Now,
is, mate.
ideally, the police would be doing something about it, and there wouldn't be a need for anybody else to do something about it. But I have 100% of support of people going there and going, do you know what? We're just going to make sure it's safe for teenage boys and girls to be able to use the park, same as anybody should be using the park, and not be afraid of people using it for other purposes. And 100% of Rochdale supports that.
Yes, and it's only growing, as we can see. Mate, it's been an absolutely
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
fantastic... What's your name again, sir?
Yeah, Elwyn.
Elwyn?
Let me give you my mobile phone.
Well, I've got my stream going, so if
sorry.
anything, I'll get them
Yeah.
details off you later.
So Elwyn Watkins, yeah.
I would love to do a proper sit-down interview with you at some point. You
Yeah,
could
perfect,
talk
yeah.
about your history, because you're very knowledgeable and you're coming from a political
You know,
background as well.
Rochdale used to be such a proud little town.
It still is, mate.
The people are still brilliant.
people,
The
yeah.
people are still brilliant.
Yeah,
But that's the reason why you need this sort of stuff, because
yeah.
this is just excellent, isn't it?
It is, mate. It's so positive. It's inspirational.
It
It's
is.
amazing, you know, and it makes anyone look at this, even if you're looking at this through the stream, go, there's a more positive way of addressing the
And there
scenario.
are solutions.
Yeah.
And out I can do, let me just put it on the stream, out I can do at all.
Right?
Whatever I can do, I'll do for
Excellent.
you guys.
Excellent.
And I'm not going to stand again for politics. I still like politics and stuff.
Okay.
I'm not going to stand again, but, you know, having been through it and having learned some lessons the wrong way, if you like, made some
Certainly.
mistakes,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you can kind of hopefully try and make the path a little bit smoother.
For everyone
But
concerned.
hey, if I only get to see you guys once a year or something, maybe next year will be even bigger.
Well, indeed, mate. Hopefully, I've just been told by Debbie, the organiser, that this is going to be an annual event.
Yeah.
She's just spoke to the people who own the place, and they've said they've got no problem with doing that. So I'm only surmising next year is going to be even better. There's going to be more things going on, more awareness. You know, a year of doing this, getting videos out and, you know, sticking the camera in Rochdale Council's face. It's going to do it.
Everyone involved, especially including yourself. You know,
well, I just love doing what I'm doing, and in a way, I'm happy that the platform that I've got is being used in a positive way to actually help people. You know, that's as simple as I can make it. I love the Rochdale people. When I look at the story, a layman's perspective, I can't believe that more YouTubers are not on this. You know, I can't believe that the media's not. You know, we know all the stories. So if all I can do is just sit and film these guys every now and then, do my best with a video editor to try and produce a video that is going to put them in a positive light, I'm all on that. But mate, listen, I'm going to have to get going.
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you very much for your time. I'm going to definitely get your details before I go. We'll take it further. Wow. Wow. Yes. Yes, who's that, Bernice? Yes. Thank you, Elwyn. Jesus Christ. That was a hell of a conversation. You know, when you get someone that just knocks you for six with a conversation, it's like, I was not expecting that here. I was not expecting. Oh, thank you, Kat. Thank you. Listen, you're great because you follow this stuff and you're just as peed about what's going on as I am. So I don't consider myself any better than anyone else. I've just got a gob in my head and I've got a phone on a long stick and I've got 20,000 subscribers and I'm not afraid to use it. So I love it. But that guy, wow, what an inspirational guy. For him to say what he'd said, coming from his perception as well, literally, because he knew all about Cyril Smith. He knew all about Alan Brett. He knows these rum characters. So to come, oh, it was just very awe-inspiring. I definitely want to have a proper sit-down interview with him. It was almost, I wouldn't say wasted on a stream because you know what it's like, but that alone could be its own little upload, a 15-minute interview, just literally outlaying everything that he feels that's happened to the city of Rochdale. So I'm buzzing. I'm thirsty though, I'll tell you that. I need to get someone to get me a beer. Everyone's drinking beer. I'm stood in the middle here with no beer. I can't go to the bar because I'm streaming. What's going to go on there? Who can I get to get me a drink? A bit of libation is needed. It does, Bernice, you're right. I'm definitely going to get his number and we're going to arrange. If he says he lives in London, it's whenever he can come down, I guess, or whenever I'm in London, which one. But definitely a sit down and outlay it. And the talking points he brought up is so right. You know, considering what he was saying about, you just got to be careful of what you do in the moves that you make because it's how it's perceived. And you know, the people that we are fighting against, they will use every slight little negative connotation to spin it, to stick a bit of ham on it, a bit of mustard, and slap 2 pieces of bread on it, and there you go, there's your negative butter. Eat it. Yes, it does. It does, Kat. I mean, look at this, talk about bringing people together. Everyone's just chilling. The only bad thing I'm going to say now, right? I'm listening to Grease. That's a bit cheesy. So that is the only negative thing I'm going to say about what's going on here. Get the grease off. You alright? Just waffling away, I'm streaming, you see.
I was wondering if you're from TV or something.
Yeah, I'm actually streaming now, you see. Look, I've got different people.
You got streaming me, are you?
Well, you was on it briefly then for a second. All right, all right. Oh, jeez, look. Everyone thinks I'm a nutter here now because I'm just talking into a phone. Right, I've got to get a drink. Got to get a drink. I'm going to get a drink. D! Mate, you couldn't do me a big favour, could you? Do you want a pint?
No, right, you want one?
Yeah, could you get us one?
Yeah.
Could you get yourself one as well?
I can't drink, no.
Oh, right, okay.
I'm going to be doing the raffles and the auctions in 5 minutes and
5
stuff
minutes?
like that, yeah? Just telling everybody, so if they come in, they come in, if they don't, they don't.
Okay.
You want a Calvin?
Whatever you've got, mate.
I'll get one.
Mate, no, seriously, yeah? Oh, Dean. Oh, what a chap he is. No, mate. It was on the floor, was it?
No,
Yeah. Where I was stood.
That is.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, I'll give that, mate. I'll give it landlord. Yeah, landlord.
Right, Billy, while you're here, mate, how do you
Look
think...
over it, Phil. Don't just follow me around and I'll pick stuff up.
All right, mate. How do you think he's going, pal?
Awesome, mate. We're better than, miles better than Chelsea, to be honest. Yeah, we're on the bowling green. And look at them old fellas saying, don't have another one because we did the right mess last time.
I know, you're going to get that, aren't you?
Yeah, of
It's very
course.
precious to them, this bowling green.
You, time for a pint and all that. You've earned it, pal. It's hard work, mate. It's hard work, but do you know what? It's made a couple of grand there.
So you're earning £6
every 5 minutes.
every 5 minutes.
What, here?
On that?
And that's been non-stop all day.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
So,
thousands.
more than paid for itself.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That is a good rate of return, that, isn't it? And it's giving people
Yeah.
fun, an element of fun, the kids on
That
it.
rent you can just pay off. It's leaning over our heads all the time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Is that like in the back of your mind of, look, it's like April now, we've got to pay the rent.
Should be missing before I get into big trouble.
No worries,
But
mate.
it's like, you know, it's hard, isn't it?
Of
It
course
is
it is,
hard.
mate. Yeah. So, was you selling at the markets last week, or have you calmed down
Yeah,
down a bit now?
we all
or-
like, we took the boxes,
Yeah.
took boxes and fire guards and things like that.
Yeah.
We did. Well, I mean, it's just hard, though, isn't it? Like, you're looking at get it and things like that. I've applied at the lottery. I'll be chasing it up
Lottery
on Monday.
Funday?
Yeah, I'll be chasing it up on Monday.
Right.
Because it's over 10,000 days, and if we get that, I'll just go on the rent. You know what I mean?
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, because it's the
I
gas
tell you
and
what, though,
the
mate.
electric, but we're doing all right. Though.
No,
We're not-
you keep
know,
it
we're doing
afloat,
all
and
right.
that's the main thing. And because you guys have got initiative and you've got drive, you're making it happen. You're not sitting there waiting for people to give you the handout, because it's
That's
never
been
going to
hard
happen.
work. That's been hard work.
But I tell you what, if the National Lottery give you money, then how bad is that going to make the council look when they still won't acknowledge that you're even open, Wayne?
No, they won't.
Where's
I
that
know.
going?
Invites like all the time. They'll just come up.
Yeah.
You know, just, like, have a look round, look, work with us.
So you're there day in, day out, aren't you, pretty much? So let's talk about this then, the booking in. Because what you do, you have a book there for everyone that comes in and out, they sign in and out. So you don't have to give me names, but in terms of numbers,
18 a day
18 a day.
and growing.
So that's 18 a day that you're helping, whether it be through
Helping.
consultation,
Homelessness.
bits of food,
Bits of food.
clothes,
Yeah, that.
rehousing in 1 or 2 cases,
Advice, yeah.
assistance on that.
Advice on abuse. And the grooming,
Yeah.
which is like every day. At least one a day.
Yeah.
It's like one a day. You know what I mean? It's like bloody hell. You know, it's baffling.
Just
you know what I
wait
mean?
till everyone in Rochdale knows about Pag. Not to say that everyone doesn't, but what I'm saying is there's still a lot of people that will not know, realistically.
Of course, yeah.
So when that comes out, then maybe that might attract them. Going back to the ex-councillor, Elwyn, I was just speaking about, that the fact that you guys are seen as people that can be trusted now.
Of course.
You're working for the people, you're not working for your own agenda. So that will become more attractive for people to come to you rather than go to the council, rather than go to Mind. All these other organisations that are not getting anywhere.
It's like I have a lady. You know, she's having like issues with all the neighbours.
Yep.
And the neighbours are crucifying her. Like, you know, they're banging on the door, they're threatening her, they're doing this, they're doing that. You know, she comes in like once a week and we're phoned up. Social services won't help her. I don't care. Services won't help her. You've got RBH. there's no help. There's no help. You're constantly, you're phoning up. You know, you just keep getting like knockbacks all the time. You know what I mean?
And it's hard to understand when you don't try to do good.
You know, the daughter was, you know, had issues as well. You know, and I'm trying to take her off her, and it's like, all you've got to do is move her. Just move them. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like, I've rung up like all of them. I've phoned up all last week, every one of them, and they don't. As soon as you mention like our name, it shuts down. That's it. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, for God's sake, we're just.
You know what it is, though, don't you, Wayne? You know what it is.
Yeah.
They're scared of you.
Yeah, they are.
They're scared that you're actually becoming effective.
And they don't like that.
There's going to come a time where you're going to be more effective than the actual official organisations, and that's what they don't want. Really, they can't do this. They haven't got that level of respect with the local people and the community, because the people have been fucked over for so many decades now. How can you trust them?
We can't. Absolutely.
Dean, you are a frigging gent, mate. Thank you very much.
But it's hard.
Come on, Dean, get in on the convo, mate.
What about the councillors and adult care and all this, like the agencies around in Rochdale, you know, a bit wall like all the time, though we ring them up in the week,
to fail,
and they're just like, you know, we say like our name.
Yeah. But giving the veil that they're helping people to the uninitiated.
Same with Survivors Matter, wasn't it, when they said we'll get you a room and all that stuff. And then it came out when we were talking about the goal. The 2 minutes about Cyril Smith, that they got the room and they sorted all survivors out. Well, it wasn't. It was our organisation that did it.
Done nothing, have they?
Done anything.
Yeah. So where can you see this being in 5 years, mate?
5 years. If we get the community together, I see it going big. Not just the abuse.
Expand.
It's the,
Expansion. You know what I mean?
Oh, without a doubt.
Expanded.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to be next, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think the one. The years old to come, I don't know the one in like every town, you know what I mean?
I was just going to ask that question, Wayne. Is that people on this stream, right, there'll be people on this stream that I'm sure, if they don't live in the areas where there's been a severe grooming problem, even if the police don't want to acknowledge the word severe,
no, they don't.
You know, according to them, it was an ancient history problem.
And it's gone away.
You know what I mean?
That's what they think. It's like gone away, and it hasn't.
Well, imagine how much solace people on this stream, if they live near Newcastle or Sheffield or, you know, all the other towns and cities that have got the issues, they must be thinking, if Pag was here doing this, what we're doing here, but there in Newcastle, you know, wherever, imagine what we would be doing, you know, just rolled out.
You know, we're sick and tired of people abusing our kids. Sick and tired of it, like day in and day out. You know what I mean? Just stop. You know what I mean? Just stop. There's a guy like walks around the Rochdale like every day, Phil. Have you heard about that?
No.
There's a guy who for child abuse. He's been let out. He's constantly walking around all the time, every day, walking round and round and round like every day. What's he up to? Do you know what I mean? It's like obvious, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That has got to stop. We told the police about it, and the police said he's got to like commit.
Was this the one that had the audacity to come in your walking centre?
He's constantly walking around though. Yesterday, I filmed him. And the guy's just walking around like every day. He's constantly walking around. What is that guy like up to? It's like obvious. And we told the police, and they said, look, we can't do anything until he commits a crime.
Right, well, let me break it down for the people.
You know what I mean? It's like...
What was going on, what Wayne's talking about, there was a convicted paedophile that was, obviously, is out, whether he's got to sign a sex offenders register or whatever protocol. But basically, he's walking round the streets of Rochdale. To make it even worse, don't forget, you've got peers, peer-to-peer. You've got Pag Uk, which is pretty much all about survivors, really, of abuse. So then you have a man who's a convicted paedophile that decides to walk into the walk-in centre. Imagine the trigger effect for all the survivors when they seen him. Yeah. It took you by surprise, didn't it, when you come, when you seen him?
Where's it in from? And it had to click, you know, like that. And I thought, I said to Billy, and he walked round, I said, right, get out of here now, you know what I mean? And, you know, it's just absolutely shocking, Phil, do you know what I mean? It's just like, you know, it's like I said, look, he's after his next one. It is like obvious, you know what I mean? He's after the next one.
Yeah. Legally wise, they can't stop him. It's sad that he can just waltz around and literally go in a walking centre of survivors. Is he got no brains to realise that, you know what, they might be affected, severely affected by my presence?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. It's not hard, is it? You know, but...
Obvious, isn't it?
Of course it is, mate. Of course it is.
And I'm frightened. You know what, Phil? I'm scared. I am frightened that is going to get another kid. It's that bad.
Well, if he does, then he's culpable.
It's that bad.
Well, the police. Because if you've told the police and they've said, well, there's nothing we can do, what are you going to do? You're going to wait for him to abuse someone and then, okay, he's broke the law, but then you've created another survivor in order to get justice. Sick, mate. Sick.
That's what they were saying. He's got to commit a crime. He's got to commit a crime.
But then people on this stream, you know what they'll say? You go on Twitter, you say the wrong thing, or even if you don't say the wrong thing, you just share a freaking comment, or in ways do absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
You get police round at your door.
That's right.
Now, we had explained to us by them two coppers when I was with Billy that they've got a resource issue. Well, they haven't when it comes to attacking online frigging haters or even just people online who are waking up.
Yeah, of course.
You don't even have to be hating.
Yeah.
Sometimes the hate can come towards you, and because you spoke out about it, you're the one getting banned.
Yeah.
And the guy who's actually, you know, done all the hating, he's saying nothing and just getting off with it. Yeah, but anyway, mate.
Protecting them. Constantly protecting them, I think.
Yeah.
Constantly, the police are constantly protecting them. You know, and not us. And not the children. You know, it's all about the kids. You know, leave our kids alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll be there. You know what? We'll be there. You know what I mean?
Try and protect.
No messing around. You know what I mean? It's just that we're not having no more shit. Do you know what I mean, Phil?
Well
no
said,
more,
mate.
No
well
more
said.
at all.
Well said.
I mean,
It's organisations
we'll
like this.
We'll hunt them out. I swear to God, we will hunt them.
Yeah. In an honourable way, in a law-abiding way, and we're going to put them over the coals.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Yeah. Just like that geezer who done what he'd done across the park, just offering money out for all kinds of sexual kind of acts against young girls, and then had the audacity to say, "Oh, I was looking on YouTube." Really?
I went down to Manchester last week with Dan and everyone.
Right.
And that was way cool. We went like under the canal, and Dan told us stories that like little lads are raped under there.
Yeah.
Every day. And
where are you talking about? Are you talking about near the place? What is it? Juicy Street?
Is it? I think it is.
Behind Piccadilly Station.
That's it. Yeah.
It's renowned for Remboy activity there because you've got a staircase that goes down.
That's right.
So like the old Victorian pathway going alongside the canal.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's notorious for it.
And he told us like stories and over the years and what happened, and it's still going on now.
Yeah.
Little boys.
Yeah.
Grown men, those lurking round. We went around about midday, and a load of old guys just like
literally
lurking around.
Dirty bastards.
You know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
Just like, and I'm looking at them, and I'm thinking, honest to God, it's dirty, it's horrible, it's rancid, it's horrible. It is. Dirty. Condoms all over the floor. There's needles everywhere. You know, and what the police doing about that? You know what I mean? What are they doing about?
Well, it's out of sight, out of mind. You see.
Yeah.
So you don't do very little.
Of the horrible, it's dirty, disgusting places.
It's a bigger moral argument, Wayne, isn't it?
Yeah.
How can anyone let all this go on and say nothing? You know, and then be outraged over something else over there? It's
and
like
they've got a sign, like a little sign, no sex allowed.
Really?
Yeah, the police have just got a little sign at the top, no sex allowed.
You know what would be good? We live in the most surveilled state pretty much on the planet.
Yeah.
Why don't they stick a CCTV camera somewhere that's out of reach, but at the same time that can totally see all the traffic that's there and start convicting people. You don't have to shame them, but convict. And then the people that are, you know, being raped or being abused for money, help them.
Yeah, it was Dan as well, like, who told us. He rescued like a 12-year-old boy though years ago.
Right.
And he said, you know what I mean, it just absolutely messed his head up, you know what I mean?
But it did.
You know, and it would do, wouldn't it?
Of course it will, mate.
It just will do. And it's like, it's sick. It's a horrible place.
It's what we got to live with.
Again, do you know what I mean?
What we got to live, but you know it goes on, so you don't even have to go back there. You know, it's probably someone there now as we speak.
It's going on now. We're young lads.
Yeah. So just lets you know what we're fighting against, Wayne, doesn't it? You know what I mean? But mate, things are on the positive. We're doing the right thing.
Absolutely.
That's the main thing.
So
So
always, Phil, you know what I mean? It's massive.
Yeah.
Huge. You know, and it's all for the kids, mate. You know what I mean?
it is. For all these little totties running about now, it's for these, so they can grow up in a safe environment in Rochdale.
That's all we want to do.
And further afield, if we can make it happen,
Yeah.
you know.
Rochdale is rancid. Rochdale is absolutely bad and evil, and it's getting worse and worse. But we are able.
Letting people know, Pag UK are here,
Oh yes.
mate.
Thanks, Phil.
As ever.
See you in a bit, mate.
Words of wisdom
Oh, yeah.
from the first aider. Look.
The first aider.
Anyone do? Oh, I missed that. I'll try and get it next time it comes up. Oh, so much enjoying this. It's brilliant. I think there's a raffle going on in there now. Still a lovely day. Gorgeous. And Debbie's right, my legs are aching. I had sore calves this morning when I woke up because I must have walked about bloody 15 miles yesterday. Oh, thank you, Bernice. Yeah, we're just chatting. Just chatting. You know what? An interview, doesn't matter who is interviewing who. It takes both parties to make a brilliant interview. So, you know, words of wisdom, intelligence. It's a two-way thing, and I love it. I love it, because these guys are so on point. They know what they're bleeding on about. It's just a shame, innit, that this has to come from proletariat. You know, there should be systems in place. We all should be living our life now. We should be worrying about this. It's just wrong. Oh, little Babby there. Jeez. Pretty shortly. I would have liked to have got an interview with Debbie, but I think she's preoccupied doing the raffle. So I'm probably going to leave that for another day. Yes. Here he is, the man himself.
The Manchester Walk. Hey, what a fantastic day, everybody.
Yes. Gone down really well, hasn't it, mate?
Hasn't it?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Hasn't
Positive. Positive.
it? Children are turning up. You know, everyone's enjoying themselves. You do this because you do it for this reason. And the reaction we've got is the reaction I wanted, and like everyone in life should have, to make our town a little bit better, to have that positiveness about our town.
Imagine the comfort that the normal community will have, knowing that
This
actually
is brilliant,
someone's got the back.
Chap, this is what I'm talking about, mate. And it's not. It's just. It's great because 4 years ago we did one and no one would have turned up because it wasn't. Well, it was frowned upon grooming and that. People didn't know whether to get involved in it. And then the normal people in the households have decided that it's wrong. So they just have done this, and then they bats us and bats every charity we've ever done or every walk we've done. But at first it was touch and go with people because they had this thing about it, you know. but the reality where it's setting. And we are now starting to make a change to children's lives. We've got up and we're going to do something about something. And today is... Look at it.
Shows you, doesn't it?
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Look at this, man. And more towns and more events and like should put more benefit. They'll give us free. They're making money behind the bar.
Yeah.
So anyone out there, if I'm honest with you, that wants to change or do something, like putting some bouncy castles up, contact us. We'll get you the bouncy castles for next to now. We'll get you this and that next to now, and we'll put it in your town. And that's me, Leslie D. Sorted.
That's a drop the mic moment if ever I heard one. Love it, mate. Oh, you can see we had a laugh a minute going up that bleeding mountain, I tell you. No matter what achy limbs you had, he was just cracking us all up. Great character. I forgot to ask him what's the next event. They were actually talking about jumping out of a bleeding plane. Can you imagine that? Imagine that. So, thoroughly successful event anyway. I thoroughly enjoy working with them. There's no backstabbing. You know, these guys, I'll tell you now, no matter what video I do regarding these guys, they never try and steer my thought process. They never try and engineer my videos to work out the way they want. They just do the interview and they'll just leave me to do my thing and go, right, upload it. Can't do eyes. How do you think I feel? Although, I really want to do it because it's one of them bucket list things, isn't it? I'm going to have to get a GoPro because I'm going to want to film it. I think you can film it. I guess if you're not experienced, you'll do the jump through a tandem jump. So I guess you'll be with someone who is more experienced. And I think they do film them, don't they? But I guess I would like to wear my own GoPro and I would like someone on the ground to film me screaming from bloody 10,000 feet or whatever it is on your first jump. Tell you what, talk about resonate. You'd hear a scream from 50 miles away. Yeah, cat. So they're going to film it and you're going to look at a mixed race Nazi turning white within a space of a couple of thousand feet. So that's something for the future anyway. Phil has to go on the slide. Oh, what? You think the kids are going to let me go on that slide? I'd be getting bum rushed off there. Get on that slide. Wow. Imagine. Look. See what I mean? You got to manhandle. You got to get physical. You got to get physical. Got to do it. Got to do it. It's not nice. Oh, yes, do it. What do you mean everyone's egging me on to go on the slide? Seriously? You seriously want me to go on that slide? I've been asked on the stream to go on this slide.
I'll camera it if you want.
Mate, you're encouraging him, you know that? Oh, shit, everyone's saying yes, oh, for fuck's sake. Right, grab me beer.
Right,
Jesus
point
Christ.
the camera.
This is all for a good cause, remember that? It's not because I've got a fetish
on the
for frigging inflatable slides.
Go on, Phil.
Stop pointing at me. That's the last thing you want.
I've been asking for people on the slide.
Right, Phil's going up the slide. You got to take your shoes off. This is all for charity. Red pill, Phil.
I've just got to wait. All right, guys. I've got to wait, guys.
Oh,
I've got to wait. What can I do? I'll have to wait. I was just undoing my shoelaces there, so it will happen at some point. It will happen.
We'll make sure you go down this smelling slide.
Just have an ambulance here ready, mate.
We've got first aider. We know
Yeah.
where the first aider is.
Get Wayne here on the case.
I'm a first aider.
I know, relive the youth, mate. I get it. Look, he's trying to bum rush it again. He's trying to do it. It's the right rum in this one, isn't it?
Love it.
He's determined to get on that without paying. So there you go, guys. I will go on it, honest. Oh, what? Look what you guys get me doing. I love you all, even the pissinators. Hey up. Billy's sticking his head over the wall. You alright, mate?
I wanted to come on this side and pretend I'm William the Conqueror.
You certainly look like
We're standing behind that wall.
I did from all them kids driving me mad.
I know, can you imagine?
Bless them, you know.
Hello there.
All's I've seen all today.
I don't know whether you caught that on the stream, guys, but what Billy's just said, with the money that's been raised today, he's looking at paying the rent for at least 18 months, you reckon?
There's an auction. Look what's that in there, there's auction.
There's an auction going on? Right, let me go in there and film that.
And Dean's been a played the blinders today, as well as his missus Adela, who's been a legend.
Yes, Dean's always on it.
And his kids as well, who've been banged out all day since then.
Helping out?
They've been on his stalls all day.
Oh, bless him. Bless him.
Well, I mean, this is all stuff that's been donated for.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, everything.
Look at this.
You know, them magazines are 5 inch short, £10 on sale.
Oh, wow. Wow.
No one's getting ripped off. Everyone's
No.
getting something for cheaper than what they're buying in the shop, and it's benefiting them again in the long run.
And it's showing the level of support that's coming to you as well. People want to do this for you to help the good cause, don't they, you know? I will put a description, in the description I will put a PayPal link for anyone who wants to donate. If you don't, then that's fine. No one's asking you, forcing you to do anything. If you have got the facility just to throw a couple of quid, then do it. If you can't, then that's fine. That's fine. It's all brilliant. And apparently there's an auction going on in there. Let's have a quick look. Let's have a quick look. Right, before we shut it down. Hold up.
606 starting to 610 raffle tickets. Keep your raffle tickets, please. Thank you. Right, who's going to give me a fiver for the Easter hamper, though? Easter bunny hamper. Right, we've got £5, £6 anyway. Come on, £6. £6. Right, we've got £6, £7 Easter egg. It's not Easter egg. It's just a there we go. Right, £6 over, £7 anyway. Have we got £7 anywhere for the Easter hamper? £7. Have we got 8? I'm going to sell it for £8. Right. Once, twice, sold. I'll push that one through because the lady in the right top has donated all the magazines, all the toys, and everything to Pag Uk. So, round of applause for that lady. Right, raffle ticket time again. 621. Pink ticket. Can we just try and keep it down? I'm not going to go to speak another half an hour. I'm not to do yet. So just try and keep it down. 621 to 625 pink ticket. Anybody with a pink ticket?
be alright.
Right, I'm going to have a Star Wars set here, okay?
Wow, it's all happening in there. Oh. Right, let's see if we can get this slide out the way. Doesn't look like there's any kids on it. Is it free now? Is it free now or what?
He wants to go on it. We're going to go, Phil.
Filming it?
You can have one go.
One go? Sweet.
That's it.
Right, let's get it here. Right. Cheese and bread. Right.
Right, stay there, chicken. No, we're gonna video.
Watching Red Pill Phil
live,
like a jackass.
Yeah, there we go. Red Pill Phil's going on the slide.
Enjoy yourself.
Right, he's going up, and then I'll catch him on the way down. Yeah, we're there.
He's only having one go.
He's only having one go, just for charity.
Later on, yes, definitely.
Here he is, here he is.
Yes, I. Right, can we do one more?
One more.
Went a bit slower.
Yeah, right, he's going to do one more, guys. Oh, there he goes, racing up there. We're going to try and get momentum to slide down fast. There he comes.
Done it. Done it.
There you go.
First aider was here waiting for you. Yeah.
Did you pay your pounds? Hey, did you pay your pounds?
I didn't pay me pound. I get free goals all for £1, don't I? Free goals.
It's actually 5 minutes, but I don't think you'd last that.
I don't, I'm knackered now. 2 slides and I'm knackered. I'm physically out of breath here.
Brilliant.
Oh, wow. So there you go, guys.
Chicken.
You got it.
There you go. Yeah, 1 minute chicken. Let's go get some drinks here.
That's the fun of the day, that, isn't it, Phil?
Right, that's baby, that. That beats climbing a mountain anyway.
It's a pound for 5 minutes.
Oh, wow. There you go. Thank you, sir, for that. Cheers, mate. Cheers. Oh, there you go.
You felt like a big kid again.
It felt great, mate. It did feel great. Oh, the only thing I was missing is a load of kids pushing me out of the way at the top.
It reminds me of Dennis the Menace.
Yeah, it's got them colours,
the
hasn't it?
old that's the end of days, the old pills.
Jesus, now you're taking me back. Luckily, I didn't partake in any of that, but I know exactly what you mean. Oh, wow. Right. That's me done now. Me done. Red Pill Phil has been down that slide. I've done it. I've reached the summit of Copper Mountain. Now I've done an inflatable slide. Honestly, this bucket list is getting ticked off. I'm going to have to start including other things to do because it doesn't get any better than that. I will be sore tomorrow. You're right there, Kat. I'm sore now. I'm out of breath. I think I've just pulled something because as I was tying my laces, the top of my leg, I got a sharp pain. Honestly. Woo! Don't have to make you feel your age. So I hope it's give you some satisfaction, but yeah, it's going to be a lie-in for me tomorrow. It did. You're right, it did take the breath out of me. Oh, wow. So that, you know what, guys? I'm going to call it a day now because I think you've had a good look at everything that's going on. As you can see, it's been a Phil ages but a number. It is ages but a number, but tell that to me limbs. The limbs are going, nah, mate, you are 48, you're old. You're feeling it, you know what I mean? But I tell you what, I feel like invigorated. I could do it again. I could do it again, but I'd need an ambulance. You know what I mean? The mind is, it ain't funny what the mind wants you to do, but what the body will let you do. The mind is saying, yes, I go for it. The body's saying, mate, you do that again. And you know you're going to pull something. You know you're going to be limping out of here. Get to the bar. You know what, mate? You know what? I've already got my medicine. I've already got it. I've already got it. I've already got it. Libation. So, Yoga, yeah, I think I need to take some up like that. Get a bit more nimble, start stretching my body out or something. You know, get my mind and body in a place of ecstasy. Hello, Dee.
What a fantastic day, eh?
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely brilliant. We've just had one lady just donate a load of money for a raffle prize that she won. She gave it us back and then she donated the money on top.
Oh,
Absolutely brilliant.
Excellent.
Fabulous day.
And can I just ask you, who's this little charmer that you've got with you?
This is my new granddaughter. This is Ivy Ray. She's 8 days old today.
Oh, wow. Look at her. Look at that. Look at the garment.
She's one of the
look at it.
future reasons why we're doing this.
Exactly.
Keep her safe.
Oh, that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Of course it is. Keeping the kids safe.
So how are you keeping, Dee?
Brilliant now.
Yeah?
Absolutely great now. Yeah, things are looking up, changing.
Oh, that's good news.
Sam's doing better. William's doing better.
Right.
William's first baby.
Oh.
Good day all round.
Sam, did she go to the female peer-to-peer? That was
She
on
did,
Tuesday?
yeah.
Did she?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
brilliant.
had to miss it because it was the day I came home from hospital with the baby, so I'd only just got home. We didn't get home until 7 o'clock, so I missed the peer-to-peer, but
Right.
I'm going to be there for the next one.
It's every fortnight, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sam attended.
Oh, good. Was it good for her? She liked
She
it?
found it difficult because I wasn't there.
Right.
But she still opened up, so
It's a
step
start.
in the right direction.
Certainly.
Not locking up.
So is she going to go back again?
She is, yeah. Yeah.
Excellent.
She's going to definitely use them facilities.
You know, reading between the lines, I'd love it if she would get involved with Pag a little bit more. Maybe this is a stepping stone
It
for her
is.
to do
She
it.
was going to come today,
Yeah.
but she's got a meeting with a peer worker today, so
Right.
she stayed at home. And
Yep. For the future.
They're supporting her more at home now,
Certainly.
and she's not had an hospital visit for over 30 days. So from having to go in every day to not being there for 30 days, big step, big step.
Yeah. So you feel she's coping with things a lot better now? Yeah.
I think they've taught us some coping mechanisms now. So.
Okay.
And Ivy coming along has helped.
Right.
Because she likes to spend time with Ivy, and it stops her thinking about other things. So
Yeah.
she stayed at the hospital one night with Ivy and
Oh,
Ivy's mum.
beautiful.
She's coming home with Nanny tonight.
Positivity. What a newborn does, you know.
She's going to come and spend the night with me. I've told her mum and dad to go and have a few drinks. She's not drunk since she got pregnant.
Right, okay.
So I said, go and have a few drinks. She can come on with me and I'll keep her for the night.
Oh, good job my wife don't see this little beauty, I tell
Everyone
you.
keeps saying to me, oh, she's making me so broody.
I know, my wife is. I mean, medically it can't happen. I had the old snip, so, but it,
Still get broody.
she does, and that's what I'm saying. So, in a sense, it wouldn't be wise because I'd have to deal with that broodiness for the next 3
I
weeks.
can't have any more, but I've got my grandkids to contend with now. And grandchild number 10's on the way. Because Mark's daughter's expecting, she's 20 weeks.
Wow.
And she's having a girl as well, and that's going to be baby Aurora.
Oh,
So,
beautiful.
yeah, definitely on the up.
Positive family in the
Yeah,
making
it's great
there,
now.
definitely. And
we're actually going back to Lewis's story. My grandson,
Right,
my
okay.
granddaughter that got to care.
Yes.
Because I failed my risk assessment. I've just passed the risk assessment for her.
So now,
I want to know why they failed me before. My circumstances haven't changed.
sure.
My life hasn't changed.
Yeah.
So why have I passed for her? Because Chelsea needs a bit of support away from home. William's girlfriend.
Right, okay.
So they need someone that she can come to if she needs a break. I've passed mine. Why did I fail it before?
Yeah.
So I've got them over a barrel now, you see.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Yeah, she's got her own nursery. We've had the nursery done at my house, so she can come and stay. Waiting for Grandad to get here now, aren't we? And we're pinching you.
Totally oblivious. I love kids at that
Can't
age.
believe he's not got on the mic and said something yet. What
Billy.
a fantastic day today.
I know.
Can't get over the turnout's amazing.
He's buzzing. He is buzzing. He's just said to me now, with the money he feels that's been raised today, it should pay for, I think he said 18 months for the rent.
Well, we've took, I'd say, in excess of 200 on the door alone, and that's without the raffle. And now one lady's just won an auction, 30 quid she's just paid for a hamper.
Right.
And there's several hampers to auction off, and the raffle tickets and...
He was also saying that slide was making an average, I think he said £5 every 6 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, they've done really well. Absolutely brilliant day. What a turnout.
And it's giving people purpose. It's bringing the community together.
Exactly. And everybody's here for the same reason. It's not people just passing and thinking, oh, let's have a look. Everybody's here for the same reason. Yeah. They're all here for that same cause. It just goes to show that the people of Rochdale are not as ignorant as people may think.
I know.
They come together. They do come together.
Certainly, for the right cause.
Yeah.
I mean, I was talking to an ex-councillor before that was saying there's a lot of trust issues in Rochdale that the public don't trust the establishment, particularly the council and the police and the care system. So the fact that they're turning out here means that there's a heavy trust element within PAG that they're adhering to, that they think, you know what, these people speak for me, they've got my back.
The ladies just said in there, though, it's not, Pag UK is not just about the children, they're there for everybody. I mean, they have countless homeless people coming into the shop every day just for something to eat, something to drink, somebody to talk to, and then they're gone again, and then they come back again the following day, and it's just that seeing the same faces coming back all the time, and I think that just shows that there's a level of trust there, because some of these people have never trusted anybody in their lives. Now they've got somebody they can talk to. It's great, absolutely great.
That's powerful, isn't it?
Big time,
because you know, if that becomes apparent to everyone, you know it's going to blow up.
That's it.
Really is. And then that conception of, wouldn't it be great to have a PAG in every city where there's a grooming problem?
Yeah, there should be. There should be. I think other cities and other towns now need to get off the backsides and realise that there is a problem, whether you want to admit it or not. There is a problem, no matter how big or small. One child being abused is a problem. Doesn't matter how many children there are, one is a problem. They need to act on it and carry on. Doesn't matter how many doors get shut in your face. We've had so many doors shut in our faces, it's unreal. Now doors are opening and big things are happening, and it's good. Feels good.
The public are forcing it open, aren't they?
They've no option. Yeah, that's it. That's it. People have got a voice now.
Yeah, it's not negative, it's positive. You know, the times for ranting and raving and screaming, yeah, okay, get the word out, but ultimately that is not...
What happens after that?
Yeah, it's now the acknowledgement, knowing that you've got it, and right, how can we work through this now?
Let's deal with it.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying, yeah, it's happening, and shoving it in the wardrobe, let's deal with it.
Yeah.
Let's get it out, get it dealt with. Bigger things will happen. Other towns need to jump on it, really.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to take her in. It was lovely seeing you, Phil.
You too, Dee.
I'll see you later.
Okay, see you soon. Thanks for the time. Wow. Right, guys, I'm going to get going. So I think I'm going to probably stay here for a little bit longer. I'm going to head back because I've got a lot of editing to do over the footage I got at the Leave Means Leave event in London yesterday. So, oh yes, honestly. Yeah, nice one, Bernice. Dee is a very strong, articulate individual that has watched the family go through so much, and she has been the rock for that family, honestly. She's kept it together. She said to me over time and time again that if she didn't keep it together, the family would have literally fell apart. And that's very indicative of strong individual women that become the role model in the family, let's say, you know. That's why I've always loved interviewing women within this movement. I've always loved having conversations with women, not because of my fetish for women, but because there's a degree of intelligence and nurturing skills that is definitely good enough to bring to this argument that some men cannot do. Some men like to get frustrated and get, angry about scenarios, and I understand it because we've got the kind of hunter-gatherer attitude, aren't we? We're pissed off, so let's show the world how pissed off we are. I do feel with the more finer, refined side of the sex, they tend to handle it in a more constructive, intelligent way. Whoa, got kids running about. So yeah, that's what I love doing. So anyway, enough of me whittling on, guys. This has been Rochdale Phil speaking from Spotland Social Club in Rochdale, the Pag UK Funday, and boy has it been. So I'm going to leave it with this. I love you all, guys, even the pissing haters. Thank you for everyone who's come on this chat. Thank you for everyone. If you're going to share it, talk about it with your friends. Let everyone know what Pag is doing and how positive it is. It's going to change the world, this. I'm telling you. It's going to change the bleeding world. So look out, rather, for uploads in the next few days, guys. Yep, social media, share the bloody hell out of this if you can. Get the message out. Tell them Pag means business and they're doing it in the right way. So anyway, guys, I'm going. I love you all, even the pissing haters. God bless all. Have a great weekend. And to all those lovely mothers out there, have a fantastic Mother's Day tomorrow. See you soon, guys.